Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Death Ray here. That's right. Today you're getting a double dose of Davey Death Ray. And, you know, did I put the right banner down there? I don't know. Technically, it's Late Night with the Davey, folks. Episode 52. There we go. Technically, a year's worth of Davey Death Ray's Late Night with the Davey. How cool is that? You know, if you watch one a week. We missed some weeks there because of some stuff. But yeah, guys, usually I have the late night banner down below. I wanted to showcase this banner today because I'm not going to stop talking about the new merch we have on the Fourth Wall Shop until I see some orders go through people. That's just how it's going to go. But if you use promo code, HOMO code. How about I change it to promo code and maybe that'll make you guys actually use it. How about that? Maybe is that why you guys admit it? That's why you guys have not used the, taken advantage of the shop is because it said promo code. I'm a stickler for, grammar and spelling and all that kind of stuff as well. Hopefully there's no other mistakes in there. But yes, promo code Death Squad, all one word, capital letters. That'll get you 15% off the merch in our Fourth Wall Shop. I'm not going to go through the whole rigmarole of showing you all the merch. I've done that quite a bit. But the link is in the description below. And yeah, tonight we are going to celebrate 40 years of Day of the Dead by George A. Romero. And we're going to celebrate that by discussing it and by watching it later on. So there is a link or just a chat pinned in there. You can watch it. I'm not going to post all the links in the description. You guys are grown adults, and I know you can find the movie to stream. So yeah, Peacock, Prime, AMC Plus, Shudder, and if you don't have any of the paid services, not only is it on Tubi and Pluto TV, but it's also on like Crackle and Plex. So you may have to deal with some commercials, but we'll get our sweet, online stopwatch going. So if you guys fall behind, you can always catch right back up. But yeah, I'm going to jump into the chat and see how y'all are doing. Let's see here. You know what? Really quick before we get going, I just want to get something off of my chest right away. Earlier today, I was streaming. We were covering some movie news. I was doing some unboxing. Like Dave Vanderhoff sent me that really cool gravestone, that tombstone back there that you can see. It is in the background. It's not miniature. It's in the background. Maybe at some point I can grab it during the movie and show it off to you guys. Actually, just let me know in the chat. Do you guys want to get a close look at the amazing gravestone that Vanderhoff put together for me? Let me know. I think it's well worth showing off up close for those of you that missed the stream earlier today. And on the stream earlier today, I was talking about Frank Riker's pictures, the Friday the 13th, the Crystal Lake set pictures and everything. What I should have done is just spoken in generalities because there were so many different outlets, channels, whatever, that, either missed giving Frank credit or outright credited the wrong people. However, what I did is I singled out one channel and I shouldn't have done that. So to Pizowl, thank you for calling me out in the comment section. I do appreciate it. I think it's important that when we make mistakes that somebody does call us out. I also think it's important to actually apologize. And then the other side is hopefully Piz can forgive me and we can find a way to, I don't think there's a hatchet. Maybe it's a tiny hatchet. I don't know. Let me know, Piz, if you happen to watch this, and we can find a way to get past it. I'm not trying to laugh through the serious. I don't think it's too serious. I think it can become very serious, especially if it causes a big old fight. So Piz, I really am sorry. I enjoy your channel. You and Jeremy are the two best brothers in our YouTube horror space, and yeah, man, I'm sorry. It's a lesson learned, because like Piz pointed out in his comment, it's not like he didn't know where the photos had come from. He didn't even show the photos. It was just the one picture that was used from the Friday the 13th link that they had on Twitter. So it wasn't even, yeah, I totally mischaracterized the whole thing for sure. And either way, there's no reason to call anyone out personally. I think what I've learned through the experience is it's better to just speak in generalities. The people that know, and that way it doesn't turn into some weird accusation and clearly I didn't have, you know, much like Piz didn't know where the pictures were from, I completely mischaracterized it. So that's on me. And yeah. And hey, I didn't even know that Piz watched the channel. Or maybe somebody was like, hey, this fucking guy that just barely has 1,500 subs is talking some shit. What the hell's this guy all about? I mean, I've seen Piz and I have interacted like, you know, time, you know, every now and then. But I, you know, either way, whether or not he watches the channel or, you know, or he doesn't, there's no reason to call anyone out by name. Unless they come after you first or something. I don't know, but I just want to get that out of the way. I'm going to say what's up to everybody. And oh my gosh, you guys. 125 is what it reached today. That is what the temperature reached. It's friggin' crazy. I can't believe I'm here in front of you as I wipe away my melting face. Right now, it's technically 116 with a heat index of 118, but earlier it was 118 and 125. I don't think I've ever seen 125 in my time here in the Phoenix area. And guys, I'm not even like downtown. I'm like 35 minutes away from downtown. I can only imagine when you're around all of that concrete and all those buildings and everything, it's probably hotter. So wild stuff. So yeah, I'm going to say what's up to you guys. You know, I love seeing you guys interact in the chat. But Brett, you better watch it. I'm just joking. Okay, here we go. We got Lamontre Gillard in the house. What's happening, Lamontre? Great to see you. Chester Franklin Jr. How you doing, Chester? Adrian James. How are you doing, Adrian? How was the birthday, my guy? Hopefully it was a good one. I know it was a few days ago. We got Ashton Luck in the house. What's happening, party people? Whoa, I'm blowing up my microphone there. And we got Brett from Good Real Hunting, one of our amazing Death Squad mods, and an awesome member of the community. Brett, feel free to share the Good Real Hunting link in the chat if you'd like to. I'd imagine all of these people probably found this channel because of your channel. And man, Good Real Hunting, I'm just going to take a second just to, you know, got myself in trouble for talking about a channel in a bad way. I'm going to talk about a channel in a good way. Good Real Hunting, the reason why I love interacting with you guys so much in the chat and the reason why I've made it a priority ever since the very first time I went live is because of those guys at Good Real Hunting. They taught me how to show the chat appreciation and how to engage with an audience. And that's something that I took away from them that I didn't see any other channel doing to that high of degree. Of course, all the channels out there find a way to interact. Some channels, I'm not going to mention them because remember, I don't want to get in trouble, but we all know, like we all go to channels where they may have so many people in the chat, they can't say hi to everyone or bring up every chat and everything like that. What I love about Good Real Hunting is they will bring the show. They'll be like, wait, somebody jumped in. Let's say what's up. And I try to do that as best I can. You guys gave me that. So thank you very much. Let's see, who else do we have here? We got Gory Tiger. What's happening, Gory? How are you doing? We have our amazing channel member, Antonis Andriotis. What's up, broski? What's up, broski? Right back at you, Antonis. I'm pumped. We're going to be talking about my favorite zombie film of all time here, regardless of what Brett Man says. We got Jay Diamond, another one of our great channel members. Awesome James Bond icon you've got there, Jay. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Love it. Who else do we have here? We've got, sadly, I think Day of the Dead is just fine. How many times have you seen it, Brett? I'm curious. I heard so much, so when I got into Romero's movies, Dawn of the Dead was really tough to find. This was still in the VHS days. Maybe DVD was right around the corner. Dawn of the Dead was really hard to find. Day of the Dead, I didn't even know it existed. And then in the early 2000s, let's see, it must have been 2003, I found out that Day of the Dead existed. And one of my buddies, whose opinion I trusted so much, was like, oh, that movie is just so bad. None of the characters are likable. Such a crappy movie. And then I think it was 06 or 07. I think it was Anchor Bay that put out that 2-disc DVD set. Beautiful 2-disc DVD set. I don't have a lot of my older physical media stuff, but this is a really nice piece, and I love the movie so much that I did keep that original packaging. It was the first time it had ever been digitized. They lifted up the overall brightness, or probably they just cleaned it up and brought it back to the way it was supposed to look, so you could see everything clearly. The very first time I watched it, it blew my mind. But keep in mind, I had heard that this was like not even worth watching and didn't have good acting, didn't have a good script, didn't have good characters, and then I was blown away. It was my favorite Romero script. I think it's his best job editing. I think it's Tom Savini's best visual effects ever. It's where Greg Nicotero cut his teeth. Regardless of all the shit I give Greg for his mask work, I think Greg is a top notch. I mean, regardless of what I think, he is a top notch, and I do believe he is. So I love that he cut his teeth on this one. I think most of the acting is good. We'll talk about that when we jump into the movie. I'll be able to, maybe I can piss off some more people today. But most of the acting I think is great in Day of the Dead. And yeah, we'll talk about that later. But I'm curious to know, Brett, how many times you've seen it. Maybe if you revisited it a couple times. That's a weird word to say, revisited it. There you go. Maybe you would enjoy it a little bit more. Let's see here. Or maybe not. There's some movies that I've let's see here. Just don't hit the presentation button. What presentation button? Oh, the best zombie movie of all time is Train to Busan. That's pretty good. I like that one. I really like how Train to Busan, it really does. It respects all of the rules of Romero. It adds in some other lore. I really dig that. I mean, the zombies do move fast. I don't think that's disrespectful to George. I love how they added to the lore, but did it in a way that made sense within their world. I'm really looking forward to, I know James Wan has been trying to get Train to New York off its feet, which is apparently not going to be a remake. It is just going to take place in the same world, around the same event, which is really cool. Let's see here. What else do we got going? We've got Gene Whitacombe. What's happening? Great to see you again, Gene. Love you so much. Love all of you guys. Tyler Adams. Haven't seen this since I was 17 or 18 years old. Ooh, you're in for a treat, bud. Oh, yeah. I really love this. I know I'm not the only one out there singing its praises. I know Jenks from Twisted Locker, by the way. Twisted Locker, excellent channel. Love those guys. My Welsh brothers from Other Mothers. I know Jenks and Kurt both really love this movie, and Jenks has his own channel called Zombie Locker. He just dropped a video on how this is Romero's best zombie film, and I agree. So I think there is plenty of love out there. But you guys know what my second favorite zombie movie is? I always talk about it, but can you remember? I don't know. You let me know. We got Aaron Click in the house. What's happening, Aaron? Great to see you. Brad Underwood. What's happening, Brad? Love to see you in the chat, my guy. Jamie Hart, our original Death Squad mod and channel member. What's happening? Let's see here. Davey, can you please show that picture of the woods being used in Crystal Lake to everyone here in the chat before watching the movie? Jay, maybe I will, but also, guys, you should check out that video, because not only do I show off Dave's the tombstone that Dave sent me, I go through the entire, it's just out of reach. Eli sent me that Lucio Fulci's Zombie, the complete graphic novel collection. I went through that whole thing, opened each one up, showed off all the cards, flipped through the comics really quick. So I think that live stream is well worth checking out, especially for the unboxing from subscribers and the first couple news stories. So yeah, the Crystal Lake TV show stuff and all that for sure. But yeah, I suppose I could show it. Yeah. Twice in one day. I know. Getting tired. What's happening? There he is, Vanderhoff. Yeah, and I know I saw him during those, and I figured it's because you're so popular, Jamie. And I totally get that sometimes people watch and they don't jump in the chat, which is, I'm whatever you want to do. As long as you watch, I love it. If you feel like saying what's up in the chat, that's even better. But I could totally understand, especially with his status and everything, that maybe sometimes he just wants to slide in and listen and not say what's up. But yeah, I do remember seeing him here for at least one of those, seeing him in the chat. Yeah. And Jamie says also he's very nice. I'm sure he will forgive whatever happened. Yeah, I bumped into him at H45, but I think he was chatting with he was chatting with somebody outside. So I just walked by, put my hand on his shoulder, told him I dug what he did. He's a tall dude. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. I'm 6 feet tall. Piz must be like 6'3", 6'4", maybe even taller. I don't even know. It's one of those things, like, because I never really feel short until I start hanging out with some of these YouTubers. Like when I hang out with Cecil or like Vin DeSanti or these guys, I'm just like, oh my goodness, I am tiny. So yeah, I hope so. I hope that he sees my response to his comment and everything. And yeah, I guess that's all you can do is you can apologize and put it out there, and you can hope that the person will meet you on that one. Aaron says you're a good person, Davey, not very good. Good to see you're man enough to apologize. Not that I was like, that damn Davey. Yeah, I mean, there's just two ways you can go. You can either like push back and just be like, why are you so fucking upset, bro? Or you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I read his comment. I thought it was very reasonable, and it totally made sense. Like once I read what he said, I was like, well, he's absolutely right. I don't even have to go back and listen to what I said because I know that I didn't give him a fair shake. So yeah, I believe in vulnerability, humility, all that kind of stuff. What kind of person would I be if I believed in those things and couldn't apologize? I don't know. There's a lot of people in this world that would never say sorry. I was married to one. And I don't ever want to be that person. There are very few times where it's not worth saying you're sorry, if you really got everything to prove it. But in this case, Piz was 100% right. 199 super chat from Brett. Thank you so much. Brett says, wow, or how you have not melted with it being 125. I don't know, dude. It was really rough during the stream earlier today. And then in between streams, I went shopping, I worked out, I made myself some food, and I showered. And sometimes when I come out of the shower, you can see that there's just this glisten, It's just, I sweat constantly. Thank you so much for sharing that, Cody. Really appreciate you. Jay says, Davey, the version of Day of the Dead I'm watching on Tubi is apparently the VHS version. Has this movie ever been remastered for Blu-ray? It has. I don't know. You guys got to let me know. Has this come out on 4K yet? I just so don't pay attention to physical media because there's so much to pay attention to. If I had a 6-figure job, I would buy all the physical media in the world, and I'm sure I'd have plenty left over. But I don't know if this has come out to 4K. Jay, you may want to try Crackle or Pluto TV or Plex. They would probably still have commercials, but maybe they've got a widescreen version. Because that, if it really is the VHS version, it's probably going to look a little bit darker. Eli would be mad at me if I took his job. I must have missed something there. Speaking of Eli, guys, make sure to hit that like button if you're watching, if you still like me. If you forgive me, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. And man, if you're watching after the fact, thank you so much. That's awesome. That's really what helps these streams out. Make sure you drop down into the comments below and let me know your thoughts on 1985's Day of the Dead, which I believe is George Romero's masterpiece. Yes, you can have more than one. I'm not saying Dawn of the Dead ain't a masterpiece, but I'm saying that I love this movie even more. We got Leanna Bevy Rage in the house. How are you doing, Lily? Great to see ya. One of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. And a fine human being, if I do say so my damn self. You the man, Davey. Now you better pass us some subscribers here soon. Oh my goodness. I obsess over the sub count. Not everyone else's. Maybe I think mine too much. But I want us to all be lifted up together. So I hope as the sub count over here grows, that you guys grow, and that I never catch you guys, Brett. Never could. Yeah, some belated Adrian birthday love. Dig it. I dig it. Holy cow, Cody Snyder's been a member for 11 months. Guys, Cody is a top-notch dude. Got to hang with him at H45, as I'm sure most of you have heard those stories. The Malik Akkad drunk and awesome stories. Some people get drunk and they become much less awesome. Some people drink and, you know, maybe they get tired, or maybe they like want a snack or something. Maybe they become complete jerks that are like difficult to deal with and act like total children. Malik Akkad, and maybe it was mixed in there too. I've heard, I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to get in trouble with everyone. Nicest fucking dude, Malik Akkad. Love him so much. Whatever you're doing, Malik, keep it going, because Halloween and Michael Myers and Halloween are sitting atop of the hill. They are the kings of slashers, and it ain't even close. But I guess maybe Art's trying to catch up. I don't know. I don't know if Art has the broad appeal to catch up, at least in the mainstream world, but he certainly does within the horror sphere. That's for damn sure. Let's see here. I really like chat comment rundown. So cool. Not everyone does that. And I totally get it. I watch some channels like, you know, where there's thousands of people, you know, like Film Threat. If I jump into a Film Threat, you know, live stream, I better have something really amazing to say in the chat for them to bring it up, because they're going to, you know, prioritize members as they should. And they're going to prioritize, even above that, super chats as they should. And everyone should be so lucky to get to that level, right? I hope that no matter what happens, and I said this earlier, so hopefully if you're on both streams, you're not like, shut up, Davey. I just hope that no matter what happens, I'm still able to connect with as many of you guys on these live streams as possible. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I'm very happy with how the channel is growing. We've had some amazing growth through May and through June, and hopefully July continues that. And that's all thanks to you guys. So I love you for it. Keep on sharing, keep on commenting, keep on engaging, and I'll keep on going to the movies and talking about them. How about that? Let's see here. Oh yeah, I love it, man. Lovely day with my brother and his wife. Got a little McDonald's. Yes, I really like McDonald's as far as the fast food places go, and maybe that's basic bitch of me. I don't know, but I quite enjoy it. Tyler, it hurts when other channels don't do it, so that's why. Yeah, and I get it. Again, I'm not gonna keep on saying it, you know. 2 times Davey for Day of the Dead. Let's see here. Day of the Dead is amazing, and I was glad to have seen it in the theater. It got a lot of flack from, at least from my friend group. Yeah. Well, there you go. Dave's with you. Day of the Dead's just okay. Maybe as I, you know, pontificate through the viewing process of the watch party, maybe you guys will be like, oh, I never saw that way. I don't know. I know I'm not every movie is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, where you can sort of bring people over. Not every movie is for everyone. And I think that's the beautiful thing about fandom, and the even more beautiful thing about art, you know. Let's see here again. Thank you so much, Chester. Yeah, guys, make sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Night of the Living Dead is the better zombie horror movie. It's still pretty scary when you put yourself in the antagonist's shoes, but I do love Day of the Dead. Yeah, Day of the Dead's a little bit more of a thought piece, for sure. Ooh, Irish coffee. Enjoying the conversation. Yeah, I've got a Boylan's cream soda. And I do have water. I have plenty of water here, ice cold. Let's see here. Some channels I return to every week for years, and they don't and sometimes can't engage. Yeah. Man, if you're at that point where all you can do is engage with super chats, then like, hats fucking off. You have done YouTube the right way, and congratulations on all your success. You know, I just want to keep on being able to engage with everyone here. Let's see here. Found your channel through Slaughtered Lamb podcast years ago. There we go. Yeah, guys, tomorrow's the 2-year anniversary of the channel. So there you go. Yeah, Zombie by Lucio Fulci's great. You should check it out, Jay. What's happening, Ryan? Great to see you. Welcome on in. Maybe I'm close to catching up. What's happening, Prince? How are you doing? We got Paula Fitzhenry, one of our great channel members. How are you doing, Paula? Make sure I'm not missing anyone else. Jamie says, I'm huge. 5 feet of insanity. Don't mess. Love it. Ooh, I think George Romero's masterpiece is Creepshow, says Antonis. I think it's still the best anthology horror movie I've seen, for sure. Yeah. And Chester's an original Night of the Living Dead guy, a 68 night guy. Love it. Stuck in a California traffic jam, dude. It's so bad out here. I picked my brother up from the airport yesterday, and it was over an hour each way. over an hour each friggin' way. All right, let's see here. I think I'm caught up for the most part. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone new to the chat. We got Happy Sanjo. Coy, what's happening, man? Hope you had a great birthday yesterday, my man. It was yesterday, right? Was it yesterday? I feel like I've been going live so much. Was it Monday or yesterday? Anyways, happy birthday yet again, brother. Hope you're doing well. All right. Looks like I'm all caught up with everyone. Okay, sweet. All right, now we can really get nerdy about Day of the Dead. Gosh, where do I even start with this movie? I mean, really, where do I start? Or before I start, do you guys want to see the picture? The picture from Bloody Disgusting. Let's see here, from Crystal Lake. Let's see. Brad Caleb Kane finally posted an official picture. Let me see if I can find it really quick since Jay requested that. Here we go. Guys, that creature feature from Colombia called Pacifico, that looks really good. I'm just going to say that really quick. So there you go. Let me see if I can, I'm going to share this. Share screen. That's the one. It's probably going to open up the version of share screen that I don't like. I don't know why it always does that. This is the one that I created for the purposes of doing this. And for whatever reason, it doesn't like that. So yeah, let me zoom in here. Oh yeah. Let me get rid of that ad. Maybe I zoomed in too much. But here we go. I mean, that's fine, right? That looks good. Looking good, everyone. You can see a whole bunch of the crew through the woods. Off to the left, you can even see a couple kids just sitting down in some lawn chairs. They look like they're checking their phones. But yeah, I showed this earlier on the stream, and it's exciting, guys. This is the New Jersey woods where they shot the first two films. And you can tell it's not Arkansas or California. It's definitely got a different kind of look. And this is exciting. I mean, like I said earlier during the stream, it's like you can almost imagine Pamela Voorhees' manly hand like reaching and moving some branches. So yeah, super pumped about that. Really looking forward to more from the production. I hope they give us some more. And that'll be that as far as all that goes. So you're very welcome, Jay. I shared that picture for you. And what I'm going to do here is share this tab instead. And I'm just going to hide that little guy there. Okay, there we are. And how about I'm switching things up a little bit, guys. Bear with me. Late night with the Davy, on the fly, as it were. There we are. I think I got it figured out. There we are. Okay, cool. And boom, I'm back. Okay, so, guys, where do I start with Day of the Dead? 1985. Written and directed by George A. Romero, of course. This one stars Laurie Cardill, Terry Alexander, and Joe Pilato as one of the best villains of all time, Captain Rhodes. Oh my God. Let's just start with Captain Rhodes. Guys, I love a villain that you can understand and relate with. I can't stand, I don't know what it is. It's everyone like always rips on James Cameron because it's like all of his villains are basically just like the most evil person, or they're a creature that's like the most evil creature. I love the way that Romero does it, especially here where you can truly understand Captain Rhodes and his point of view and what all these people have been going through and how tough this whole experience has been. I think Joe Pilato puts in an amazing performance for a guy that never hit it. I mean, some of the line delivery here. I mean, of course, George's script is incredible. You know, when he's like, "You've given us a mouthful of Greek salad." And of course, the best line in the entire movie, "I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time." That line is unreal. I mean, oh my God. What a line of dialogue. Loved it so much that when I was in my music playing days and I was recording music, I put that. I wrote a song called Friends Like You, which is like a Kid Dynamite kind of hardcore, you know, mixed with a little pop punk element kind of song. East Coast, very Philly. And that was the clip that started the song. So like right at the end of the "What You're Doing With My Time," boom, the song started right after that. So just a very, to me, a lot of Romero's movies are very quotable. I think he writes amazing scripts. And Day of the Dead for me really stands out as a fantastic script, not only with Rhodes, but if we want to move it over to John, who I believe that's Terry Alexander. Yeah, Terry Alexander played John. I love his Jamaican accent. I find it very like rhythmic and very soothing. There's something about it. Now, if you're from that region, maybe you don't like his accent. I don't know. I don't know that he's from there. It sounds like he's putting the accent on. He was born in Detroit, Michigan. So I doubt that maybe he grew up in Jamaica. No, but Terry Alexander as John has some great speeches here, some amazing lines. Once we're watching the movie, I'll pour over, you know, more of those specific lines as we get to them, of course. But man, there is something about that. He is just that calming presence in this movie. That's a very hectic, very chaotic film. I also really love Jarlath Conroy. He plays McDermott, the boozy Irishman. Not a stereotype at all. I remember, do you guys remember, maybe it was like 10, 15, must have been about 15 years ago, there were these commercials. I remember them airing during, I think it was a bunch of football games. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he played a guy that was like a hotel worker, like up at the front counter. And he's like, the towels are kind of scratchy, was like his big thing. It was like, what if other businesses were as upfront with you as we are about blah, 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 blah. And like, yeah, he's like the proprietor of the motel or hotel. And he's like telling you about all the bad things, all the bad features that the hotel has. That's Jarlath Conroy. You'll see him here. He's got a very unique look, a bit of a mousy look, a bit of a, you know, rough and tumble. I dig it. Those are kind of like our mains here throughout the film. But I've been blah, blah, blahing, and I need to catch up here on the chat with you guys. So Jay is pumped on the woods. Mrs. Voorhees is about to have some fun hunting in the woods. There you go. Yeah. Oh, they filmed part 2 in Connecticut. Okay, my bad. My bad, Dave. I thought the first 2 were done in New Jersey. Yeah, my bad. Let's see here. Of course, you got it, bud. Brad says, pouring rain while I'm driving tonight, so I won't be chatting much anymore, but I'm listening. Yes, please drive safe, Brad. Of course, we want you to be safe while you're on the road, but thank you so much for listening, man. Aaron Click says, I do believe Laurie Cardille is the daughter of a Pittsburgh local named Chilly Willy, who was in Night of the Living Dead. I think he was a horror movie host. Aaron, you are absolutely correct. Chilly Willy Bill Cardille. Yeah, and I think it was one of those things where I'm sure that helped get her foot in the door, but I know that she was acting in the theater in New York at the time. I remember this from I believe it's all part of the documentary. I've watched it so many times. Guys, I love this movie. And Laurie was acting in this play, and George came to see her. And he saw something in the performance where he was like, I can definitely use Laurie as Sarah in Day of the Dead. I think she does a really good job. I think she is, you know, one of the cool things about this movie is that I don't know if they tell you exactly how many months it's been. I would imagine like 3 to 6 months. I want to lean more towards 6 months because it feels a little more desperate than 3 months sounds to me, but who knows? I've never lived in a zombie apocalypse. But I love the way they handle like the makeup in this movie, you know, that these actors aren't done up. Obviously, everyone has makeup on them because it's just the way you like kind of catch the light and even everything out and all that stuff. But there are scenes in this movie where, man, girl looks tired. And I sort of like, I love that the movie really buys into that realism and isn't trying to present these people or characters as like, oh, look at how everyone's been able to keep up their presentation and their look, you know. Captain Rhodes is running the monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and he wants to. I love that Jamie will never cuss. She will never say a naughty word in the chat. She is just too sweet. She's our mama bear, Jamie Hart. Because, you know, Captain Rhodes is running the monkey farm, and he wants to know what you're doing with his time, not what the fuck you're doing with his time. Mr. J is in the chat. Welcome on in, Mr. J. I'm not sure if you've ever been here before, but if this is your first time, man, welcome. You're kicking it with the Death Squad. Everyone make Mr. J feel very, very welcome. We're a fun bunch here. Everyone's really cool. We love horror. We love movies. We love chit-chatting. We love to bullshit, man. And yeah, I mean, Rhodes is basically Negan. I would say that there's a lot of, I mean, obviously beyond just the general foundation of The Walking Dead, there's a lot of influence, you know? I mean to say a lot of influence from George's work. Sorry, it's 100,000,000 degrees out here. And especially, you know, I don't know how many of you guys have read or checked out the full script. So basically what was going to happen with Day of the Dead, they were going to get $7 million to make this movie. George wrote this amazing script, above ground encampment, below ground encampment. There's like a guy that was sort of like the Jabba the Hutt, like literally sat on like a throne on a stage and had like women feeding him and like all this stuff, just big time gangster sort of deal. And it sounds like, because again, I only watched the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead because I did not enjoy the show. But it sounds like later on with characters like Negan, and then wasn't there like a governor character? I think the guy in the original Day script had a very similar name as well. So it sounds like a lot of the stuff that didn't get used in that Day script was sort of, you know, adopted or adapted, you know, because no one owns it, was sort of, you know, little bits of it worked themselves into The Walking Dead. So yeah, I can totally see that. I think Rhodes is one of the best villains of all time. For me, he's right up there with Clarence Boddicker from RoboCop, R.J. Fletcher from UHF, Darth Vader, Michael Myers, and Dracula. Yeah, I'm putting Rhodes right there with all of them. That's right. That's right. That sounds like me, Davey, boozy Irishman. Love it. Whoa, Laurie Cardille was in the episode Florence Bravo of Tales from the Dark Side, 86. Well, that makes sense, right? Because George Romero was one of the producers on Tales from the Dark Side. Guys, I've never seen that show. Like, I was aware of it when it came out. I think I've seen the movie, right? Because didn't they do a Tales from the Dark Side movie? I don't think I've ever seen the show. But as a huge Twilight Zone fan and as a huge Tales from the Crypt fan, there's no reason why I shouldn't be catching up with Tales from the Dark Side. Thank you for the reminder, Chester. Appreciate you. Yeah, very cool piece of trivia for sure. Yeah, you know, those Pittsburgh folk, they stick together. I respect the hell out of them, man. I wanted to go visit Pittsburgh just to be where George was. Like, that's the kind of romantic nerd I am, guys. I fall in love with people, or I fall in love with the art, and I just want to do whatever I can to feel like I'm closer to them. And, you know, that's weird stuff, like just going to Pittsburgh just to look around. Like, you know, Lifetime from New Brunswick, New Jersey, they're like my favorite band, and just going to the state of New Jersey and to be able to see the things that they saw was romantic to me. And I'm a weirdo. Those of you know that I'm this way. Those of you that are in the chat, that either if you share music with me or you share movies with me and we have an ongoing dialogue, like, I love getting into those things. I mean, I'm not going to force myself to get into something that doesn't truly resonate, but when it does, man, it's really cool. And it makes me like, I'm like, oh, I feel like I've been able to get closer to this person because we both love, or, you know, they love this thing, and I'm starting to fall in love with it now. It's yeah, it's true, guys. You can be a total asshole like me and be a total romantic like me. It's true. It's true. You can be both. What's happening, Billy Judd? How you doing? Great to see ya. Wilkie's Movies and Music. How you doing, Corey? So good to see you, man. Are you a fan of Day of the Dead? Let me know. And you know, let me know your feelings. Either way, I know some people have already kind of said what they think about Day of the Dead in the chat. Just if you haven't yet, let me know. KCX94 says, did you see Amazon is releasing steelbooks of Halloween 1 and 2 in August, made by Shout Factory? I think I may have seen something about that come across my feed. I'm not the biggest physical meat. Like, I pay attention, like Planet CHH, I watch his physical media stuff because he always puts the movie first, and I respect that. because I'm not a physical media for the sake of physical media kind of guy. I think physical media is really cool, but if the movie isn't great, or I don't follow everything. So I know I'm sort of rambling here. I think I saw something about that cross my feed, but I basically forgot. And actually, you know what? I'm reminded. I meant to put a poll in the chat. There we go. It's almost ready. Hang tight. Let's see here. There we are. And just need to do this. Basically, I just want to know how many stars you guys would give Day of the Dead. You know, I can only use 4 options. Man, if you think Day of the Dead is a 1-star movie, I'm surprised you're hanging out. But you're more than welcome to hang out, but I'm just surprised. Let's see what else we got here. Jay Beach in the chat. What's happening, Jay? How are you doing? Hello, fellow squad members. Hope you are well. Well, hello to you also, Jay. I hope you're having a great evening so far, bud. Todd Bound is in the chat. Says they wanted Romero to direct a couple episodes of The Walking Dead. He said that he thought it was a soap opera with zombies. He wasn't wrong. Yeah, I felt the same fucking way about that show. I could not stand that show. Second season, I was like, oh, you guys are a bunch of dicks. Same thing that the Stranger Things second season did. It was just a rehash of everything from the first season. Television, guys, I'm gonna get on one right now because I'm not singling anyone out, but television in general, very, very poor storytelling. It's a terrible apparatus for telling a good story because all they do is give you an exciting first 5 to 10 minutes and an exciting last 5 to 10 minutes and bullshit, straight up bullshit in between. For the most part, there are good shows, I would say, but since in the last 25 years, most shows are just not, I don't know, they just seem like time wasters to me. Yeah, I did not enjoy The Walking Dead. To me, it's sort of, I mean, whatever, like what you like. I think the comics are better than the show because that's the original. But I just, yeah, that show doesn't do anything for me. I'm going to get all upset. Rhodes is great because you can understand his reasoning, just not necessarily his temperament or methods. Yeah, you totally get it. He's a military man. They've been pushed to the brink. They've been losing people, you know, more so than the scientists. Like, they are... That's why I'm glad I get to be the one talking. Because, man, last night I was in Pat That Halloween Movie Collectors chat. Yeah, bad spelling all over the place on my part. I get so excited, and then I just have a little misspelling here or there. I make myself look really cool in front of Jordan and Cody and Leanna and Pat and Brett and everyone. Mike Russo. Let's see here. William Livingstone. William Livingstone. What's happening, William? So great to see you. Welcome on in. You're kicking it with the Death Squad. I believe this is your first time. Says, hi, bud. I have the soundtrack on CD. My all-time favorite movie. Much respect. William, this is my favorite zombie film. And it might be a top 5 all-time for me. And I do love the soundtrack. I really, really dig that one. What's the guy's name? Why is it slipping me right now? I just had it because I had posted on my Instagram and I had his music in there. I love the soundtrack he put together here. Let's see. John Harrison. Yes. He worked on another movie. So he did Tales from the Dark Side, Creep Show. He did Dune, 3 episodes of the Dune mini-series. I thought there was something where I saw his name and I was like, oh my God, that's the same guy. He directed an episode. He directed 2 episodes of Tales from the Crypt. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Directed Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. So director and musician, John Harrison. And great soundtrack here in Day of the Dead. You are absolutely right, William. I completely adore this soundtrack. I love Goblin soundtrack, of course, from Dawn of the Dead. That one is like a bit more quirky and iconic. I think the soundtrack for Day of the Dead, it really fits the mood and the tropical, surroundings of the film as well. Holy cow, we've been talking for 45 minutes. Can't sit still for Walking Dead. There you go. Mr. J says, honestly, the first time I saw Day, I was blown away because it was so different than Dawn. I loved how Bub was learning. It really changes the entire dynamic of the whole zombie apocalypse. Yeah. 3 stars. There we go. I really like Return of the Living Dead, but I guess it's tougher for me to appreciate a comedic zombie movie more than a serious zombie movie. Which I think is why I didn't like 28 Years Later very much. Because for a lot of it, they're like, this is a serious movie. And then at the very end, they're like, fuck that. This is a joke. And I'm just like, what kind of movie are you? Like, if you want to be Shaun of the Dead, you can be Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead's awesome. But what you can't do is be grim and serious and then turn into something more ridiculous than Shaun of the Dead in the last 2 minutes. Boom, 5-star. Except for Twin Peaks, that show is both wonderful and strange, as Cooper so lovingly says. Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of television that I enjoy. Mystery Science Theater 3000 is one of my, the most important pieces of art in my life. So, yeah, I mean, there certainly are shows that I really do enjoy. Let's see who else we got. Looks like I'm all caught up. So what else can we talk about? Should we just get the movie going? I mean, we could sit here and talk. I didn't really have a plan as far as the discussion went, guys. I was just thinking we would discuss it, just between myself and y'all. Let's see here. Jay says, Davey, my top 5 zombie films are Serpent and the Rainbow, the original Pet Sematary, Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. That's a clever pick, and you're not wrong. Night of the Living Dead 68 and The Mummy from 1932. Is The Mummy a mummy movie and a zombie movie? Is it both? I guess it can be both. Is it Living Dead, though, or is it resurrected because of a curse? And is there a difference? I guess there's not really, right? There's not really a difference. I just never thought of it as a zombie movie because there isn't your typical, like, oh, if he scratches you or bites you, you turn into a living dead creature. And I guess, I mean, you could even consider like vampire movies in some sort of way, since they are called the undead, they're their own kind of zombie, right? I don't know. It's interesting to get into all of that, isn't it? I think so. Tales from the Dark Side, the movie is amazing. And Brett follows up with, yes, it is, Cody. I remember you picked that for a private watch party for us. Yeah, I've seen it so long ago. I need to rewatch that and watch the television show for sure. And look at there. Jamie Hart saw Tales from the Dark Side in the theater. How about it? Davey, I love Return of the Living Dead because of Linnea Quigley. Well, I definitely love that part of it for sure. And I love Return of the Living Dead. It's just it's got a different ceiling for me because of the tone of the film, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. Frankie D is back in the chat. What's happening, Frankie? He says, hey, Davey in chat, good movie. One of my favorite zombie flicks and second favorite entry in the Dead series. 4 Frankie stars. Love it. Great. A nice little tight review there, and you get all your thoughts. Very concise, Frankie. I like that. Yeah, The Mummy's a reanimated corpse, and that is a zombie by definition. There you go. Reanimator is a zombie movie, too. Yeah, totally. It is, yeah. I know sometimes people are like, is Evil Dead a zombie movie? But I don't think it is because those characters are still alive when they're possessed. So yeah. Raj says, Davey, I've never seen this movie. Thank you for the stream tonight. Raj, are you going to watch with us? If so, where are you going to watch? Everybody let me know in the chat. There's really no reason to not watch along tonight, guys. Peacock, Prime, AMC Plus, Shudder. And then if you don't have any of the pay sites, you could use Crackle, Plex, Pluto TV, Tubi. So there you go. And thank you for putting that up. Yeah, guys, get yourself some sweet Death Squad gear. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of fun stuff. Have you guys even at least checked out the Fourth Wall site? I know I've shown it to you, but have you ever visited it yourself? I think you should. There's some really fun stuff on there. Not all of it has my face on it. Well, most of it has at least the logo part of my face on it. But I swear, there's some good stuff there. Chester's going to watch on Peacock. Gory Tiger on Peacock. Ashton Luck on Peacock. Jay's got it ready on Plex. Hell yeah. That is that for my soda. Moving on over to the water. Guys, I've had a headache for like 4 days in a row. Must be the heat, because I haven't had a drink in, well, maybe 3 days. So maybe it was that night before. Okay, guys, I'm going to get everything ready to go. Let's add that to the stage. Let's maybe bring it over here. Let's just put it over here and make it smaller. How about it? There you go. So yeah, guys, standard kind of thing here. Obviously, I can't show the movie on the screen. I've got the timer set to about 5 seconds. We'll do a 3, 2, 1 play. I'll start the movie on play, and then when the movie gets to 5 seconds, I'll hit that. I'll get that stopwatch going again. That way, if for whatever reason you get out of sync, you can jump right back in. But guys, how about before we really get going here? Yeah, I started watching that, Prince. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. It's true, guys. The Resident Evil, the George Romero Resident Evil doc, like the movie that should have been but never was, is available on YouTube. And it's I watched maybe the first 5 minutes. Definitely worth checking out. What an amazing movie that would have been. It blows my mind that he wasn't able to make a Resident Evil movie. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. There we go. Maxwell King is in the house. What's happening, Maxwell? Great to see ya, bud. Brett is watching Survivor. Wow. Survivor over Day of the Dead. Okay, well, whatever you dig. You know, whatever you dig. Now I'm worried about Superman, Brett. Now I'm worried. No, I'm just joking. Raj says I'm watching on Tubi. Tubi's a godsend for horror fans. Do you like giallo movies? I love giallo movies, yeah. I haven't seen everyone under the sun, but the ones I have, I think my favorite giallos, I mean, I love A Bay of Blood / Twitch of the Death Nerve. Deep Red. Oh, God, I love Deep Red. I really love, what's the other one that, Blood and Black Lace. Mud Nelson, Gavin, you guys might know him by Mud Nelson. He's sometimes hopping in the streams here. He recommended Blood and Black Lace to me. That movie is so friggin' good. And it's a kind of like murder mystery, it has giallo elements. It's almost like the opening is really cool, the way they use like color and introduce all the characters. It's got this Agatha Christie meets Quentin Tarantino kind of vibe. Guys, Blood in Black Lace is so good. It is like stepping back into the late 60s, early 70s. It is a beautiful looking film. And it sucked me right in. So hopefully it does the same for you. I don't know. Maybe it would. And then Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill. I know it's an American movie, but I consider it a giallo. Really dig it. Need to find it without commercials. Get Shudder. Do a free Shudder thing. You know what I mean? There you go. Oh yeah, muscle shirts. I got to get those going. Sorry, man. Just been too busy in between the streams, but I did write that down to put together some muscle shirts. Last time I was in a watch along for this, I got drunk as shit on screen. That'll happen. All right. I think I'm all caught up with everyone. And before we get going, I do want to show you guys the gravestone really quick. So check this out. So yeah, guys, Dave Vanderhoff made this and sent it out. Let's see here. So cool. It's got, you know, just look at the detail, like on the top. There's even some moss right there. And Dave said it took 10 to 20 hours. He sent me a bunch of pictures on the making of. He had to make his own stencil for my logo there. So it's got the blood drip name, and then it's got the I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Established 2023. More moss right there for us as well. This thing is burly and awesome. It even has a crack in the back, scuffing on top. So you could literally put this in your yard during Halloween and people could walk around it and see how awesome it is. Guys, I feel so, I mean, you know, Adam Brimson, Adam Slasham did that black and white sketch of me that was released. I think he put it out on Sunday or Monday. So flattering and so humbling to see people put together pieces of work to, I don't know, as a thank you, as a gift. I mean, I don't know what to call it. It certainly is a gift every time you receive it and receive something like this. It's amazing what people put back into the community. You guys are amazing. I mean, whether you're a Patreon member, a YouTube channel member, a mod here, or you send in really sweet custom-made art like this, or maybe you're somebody like Eli Cortez that sends in a bunch of movies and really fun stuff like that Lucio Fulci zombie collection. Guys, you are amazing. The last year of my life has been really tough. The last 6 months has been like the toughest, and each and every one of you guys has helped me through it. So thank you so much. Big extra shout out to Dave Vanderhoff. I feel like I'm actually in the cool kids club because I don't think there's many people that have these. I know Slaughtered Lamb's got one. I know Nick from the Lost River Drive-Ins got one. Lee from Drum Dums. And I struggle to think of everyone else off the top of my head. But how cool is that? I'm going to go put it back in its place and we'll get the movie going. All right, I'm back. Do you work on commission? There you go. You could get one. Yeah, Jamie, you could get one custom made for you. Oh yeah. I feel I can't even believe it. When he said he had something to send, I was like, oh my God, am I getting a tombstone? Oh my God, you guys. Alice Sweet Alice, that is a really good one. Yeah, I dig that one. Oh, Poopy. Yeah, and Amazon's going to make you watch commercials. Yeah. Yeah, Blood and Black Lace. Good stuff. Good stuff. Dress to Kill. Yeah. Okay, guys, are we ready to get this going or what? Davey, just so you know, your excitement is infectious. That's great. That's great because I don't ever want to like do it up too much, get too syrupy with it. I always want to give you guys the real deal, the genuine article. But yeah, sometimes I'm a little more on one than other times. That's for sure. Let's see here. What else do we got? I know it's so stupid that they make you pay more for no ads. I don't know if you guys saw, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for calling out an account, although this is in a positive way. John Squires from Bloody Disgusting was posting about how he just thinks it's so much bullshit that even though you're paying for a service, you have to pay more to get rid of commercials. I do think that seems like a bunch of stupid crap. Let's see here. What did I miss from Gory? A real good, Brett. There you go. That tombstone is dope, my dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, Dave does great work. And the upper body strength to wield that thing. Yeah, there you go. Already watching the movie. All right, so since Jay's ahead of us, let's go ahead and get this one rolling. Why don't we, guys, huh? So first thing is first. I'm going to pause the music. There you go. So now you just have the sweet, soothing sounds of Davey Deathray. How y'all doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. And we're about to watch Day of the Dead from 1985, directed by George A. Romero. All right, guys, here we go. I've got it pulled up on Shudder. There's no way I'm shuddering with the heat the way it is. Oh, my God. Even last night, I thought I was going to go see a movie. I was going to go check out 40 Acres last night. It was 10 p.m. It was 100 degrees at 10 p.m. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's get this rolling. I'm going to start the movie on 3, 2, 1, play. There we go. All right, and the timer is back on. A Laurel production. Already starting with the great music here. Already starting with it. I mean, come on. Oh, I must have missed that one, Aaron. Day of the Dead 4K, there isn't one. Okay. They can't locate the original camera negative. Oh, well, they need to get a hold of Anchor Bay. I thought they used the original negative when they created this version, the Blu-ray version, because it really looks clean. All the VHS stuff was so dark before that. But that is, man, that's a shame. And you know what, though? I think 4K is awesome. Of course, I don't want anyone to be held back from getting the best quality movie they can get. I think Blu-ray is good enough, right? Because even with a Blu-ray, you still can have a little bit of grit, especially if the movie was actually shot on film. And I love that original grit. You know, it's one of the reasons, and I get why people just want the clearest and clearest picture and everything. But it's like the reason why I love vinyl. You know, I want that warmth there for sure. Is it that tough to see? Oh yeah, why is it like that? It's weird. It wasn't supposed to be that small. There we go. Hopefully that looks better for you guys there. I don't know why it does that. And then it changed again. This fucking thing. How about this, guys? I'll move it over. We're super profesh here on the Davey Death Ray channel. I'll move it over to the side and it's even bigger. And now it's like right above Brett's snarky ass comment in the chat. Love you, Bretty boy. Mr. Brett. Movie cock or movie clock? Yeah, pressed play 2 minutes and 40 seconds ago. Yeah, I think Blu-ray is about as good as I need it to be. I do have some 4K. I do have some that are like both, you know. Yeah, there's just the music here. The John Harrison music has got this kind of island feel to it, you know, with the percussion. I really dig it. Aaron, I wonder if it was in one of these underground caves that they have in the movie here. I don't even remember what I said that would have been that's what she said. I don't even remember because I say so much, especially when somebody is giving me grief about the way the screen is presented. This fucking thing. Yeah, I have a filthy mouth. Great matte painting right there. Beautiful matte painting. Hello. I felt like when the first time I saw 28 Days Later, I'm like, oh, they're ripping off Day of the Dead already. With this hello business. Oh my gosh, Brad, stay safe, man. I don't know where you are in the country, but we've certainly had a rough time, you know, in the South, you know, everything going on in Texas. I saw some wild video from New Mexico of a house being washed down a street. So stay safe, man. They buried it with him, right? Oh, it's so small. The clock being small, yeah. But I said, if I said clock, you know. Brett, you are not early. We are 4 minutes and 50 seconds into the movie. And I talked about the movie for about, well, I had a mea culpa, and then I talked to the audience for about an hour before starting the movie. So here we are. Yeah, I would imagine the negative would probably be would be in like some room somewhere, just stored away with a bunch of other negatives. And Brett, welcome on in, man. Welcome on in, brother. And hey, we got proof that Leanna's still there. All right, Leanna. Leanna, are you playing Fortnite right now? Are you kicking it with the boys? Be honest. I highly doubt you're watching Day of the Dead. I would feel very special if you were. Speaking of feeling special, earlier today, Jamie Hart compared me to David Lynch because of my hair, and she made my friggin' day. Made my day right there. Oh, yeah, that quaff, you know, what can you do? Gorgeous. There he is, Jarlath, taking his first sip of the movie with his classic line, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Again, great shot of that matte painting there. I love that disturbing sound of like the moaning of the zombies. So good. How am I ahead of you by 30 seconds when you said you already started watching the movie? You could always just, clip forward if you'd like. We got they're taking a look at their cannabis crop there. Yeah, when I was in my previous place before the place I'm in now, I cooked a lot more, that's for sure. But I mean, I enjoy cooking. It's just a little bit different when you're not in your own spot. I do have David Lynch hair. Jay was there. There you go. Yeah, that is some incredibly sad news. It seems like once or twice a year we get a story like that about an athlete that's just cut down from some crazy accident. There was a hockey player that was killed like while cycling. Maybe it was 2024 when that happened, but like 2 kids and 1 on the way kind of thing. And I know that, it was a similar kind of situation with Diogo Jota and his brother. Very sad. This guy, Miguel. Okay, so here we go. Not a big fan of this guy's performance. I have a difficult time believing that he would be in a relationship with a woman, if that makes any sense. If you're picking up what I'm putting down there. I'm not really getting the masculine kind of hetero vibes from Miguel is basically what I'm saying here. Not that every character has to be that way, but the fact that he's with Sarah, I'm like, this is the actor? This is the guy? This performance? There's Greg Nicotero right there. Big old head of hair on Greg. There we go. Should I start like shouting and holding out like a microphone and right in your face? Yeah, there's a documentary. I believe there's one on the Blu-ray, and I think it's the same one that was on the Anchor Bay 2-disc pack. The DVD 2-disc. John's got the right idea here, and I love his lines. I could do that even if all this wasn't going on. It's so great. There's something about like the world building and the believability of the structures and the mechanisms that they have. And I know that all of this stuff existed for other purposes. It's just wild to see that Romero is able to, like, I didn't know that this kind of stuff existed, like just a plate in the middle of a field that was like a elevator to take you down into an underground structure. Crazy. But Romero finds it and makes it work for his movie. And here, I think this is a totally different location because these, I believe, are in Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh. And I think the actors, they're all like coughing up black ash from all the time they were spending underground with all this stuff. Just don't tell me that I remind you of a Mexican chihuahua. Has somebody told you that? I don't think that at all. Wow, I would never have. I would have never, nor would I ever speak that comparison if I thought it. But I don't even know what to say because that seems so bizarre to me. Has somebody actually said that to you, Jamie? Greg Nicotero he's barely featured in here. He's got like just maybe a few lines, but he was there. You know, he was studying under Tom Savini, so they use him anyway. So he's not one of the main guys like these two, like Rickles and what's his face, Steele. You'll see him when the whole group is meeting later on. I'll point him out to you. He's got blonde hair, and I think he's got another line or two. Leanna's guilty, playing Fortnite. Getting your ass kicked by a bunch of 6 to 10-year-olds there, Leanna? Or are you kicking their ass? I hope you are. It's called The Many Days of the Dead. You can catch it on YouTube. There you go, Antonis. There you go, bud. Yeah, it's a documentary that is like, it is so friggin' good, that documentary. It will make you appreciate the movie even more. This whole corral thing that they have set up is wild too. This is setting up the whole science versus military, which is the entire crux of this movie, right? I mean, I think that's what Romero's getting at is, do we take the logical scientific approach, or do we take like the more like brute reactionary military route? I would imagine he was probably just, commenting on, Reaganism, politics of the 80s. But it's funny, if you look back to the 80s now, it's probably like way more balanced way of thinking on both sides on every side of the spectrum. The spectrum was a lot smaller then. And now where everything is so like divided and divisive and like all or nothing kind of. Whereas if you look back to the 80s, I think there was a lot more people sort of on either side of like closer to the middle. Fucking A. Biggest piece of meat in the cave. And this guy that plays Steele, well, let me grab his name really quick. He was a former NFL football player. Great performance here, So Gary Howard Clark was Steele. Throwbacks all got big dicks. And we saw proof of that in 28 years later. So this movie is not only great for its time, also prophetic. And there you go. Gary Howard Clark, who plays Steele here, the big guy with apparently the giant was born in March 1947 in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So there you go, Jay Diamond. Oh, he died in 2020 on New Year's Eve. 73 years old. Pus breeding bags of shit. The language in this movie is wild. I was starting to say it earlier and I totally got sidetracked, but Romero was originally going to get $7 million, but he wanted to make an unrated film. And this was in the time where if you made an unrated, it was basically like an X. And it was before the time of having a director's cut that could just come out on DVD or Blu-ray later. So they said, okay, you can make your movie unrated, but we can only give you $3 million. So we had to cut his script way down. And, I would have loved to have seen his original script come to shape here. But having said that, this movie is still my favorite zombie movie by a long shot. And I love that it takes these bold chances. He put $4 million back on their side of the table for control. And to me, that's punk rock right there. Yeah, I love actors like these, says Tyler. Feels grounded in a way, even if it's a little heightened. Yeah. I mean, and think about it. If you think that they've been underground for about half a year, they are going to be acting a bit kooky. Like they're not going to be like, grounded people at this point. Like, this performance is so good. That lighting on Laurie there. I mean, I just think this movie is absolutely gorgeous. The makeup on the zombie. Tom Savini never. This is his best work. I mean, he has amazing effects work all over the place. This is, I think, the most ambitious he ever got, and I do think that this is his best work. Spitz throws him, but it was Tazo when he threw him. It wasn't the actor that played Miguel. You guys also may recognize Tazo, who got thrown through the window in the original Friday the 13th with like the rope tied around him through the window of the kitchen, I believe. He was dressed up as the one girl that got shot with all the arrows in the nightgown. It leaves his greasy handprint. And this whole, like, even here in this shot, you get this, there's like a solemn nature to the zombies there for a moment. It's really nice. Tasso Stavrakis. There you go. I don't know. I don't think I like it. I like the way that most of these performers take it. This guy's performance though, the guy that plays Miguel, I'm not too sold on him. Anthony DeLeo Jr. Those were real slaps. When he hit her there, that was she was like, actually hit me. It's that, man, trusting your coworkers when you're performing on a production, that is a lot of trust you're putting in them. Yeah, the 6 to 10-year-olds. That's all they have to think about. They're just like, I shot this birthday. They don't have real life to worry about when they step away. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's, Romero, especially in his first 4 movies, has this really nice circle of the evolution of how he wants the audience to look at the zombie. At the end of Night of the Living Dead, they see John, or John is in this. They see Ben through the window. They think he's a zombie and they shoot him dead. And then in Land of the Dead at the very end, they see the zombie. They know it's a zombie and they don't shoot it and let it go. There we go. Joe Pilato. The cadence that he's got. And I think that Romero wanted to find somebody that kind of looked like Reagan, gave him like Reagan hair. And then we have John Amplas here as the scientist. If you guys have seen Martin by George Romero, you know that John played the main character, the titular character Martin. Great performance there, and I think he kicks ass here as well. Yeah, he's amazing here, Billy. Fucking A. I love that fucking A in the background. Ronald Reagan, the actor? Great shot of steel. Biting the cigar, clicking the gun. Yes. Guys, do you have any snacks? I have some red vines and I've got Haribo twin snakes. Anybody want some? Let me know. I'm going to have a red vine. So sue me, maybe I'll have 2. There we go. He is, I mean, definition of peacocking right here, what Rhodes is doing. He is just like positioning himself so confident, not breaking his stare, not blinking. Amazing performance. Purple bag of Skittles for me, says Brett. The king of all Skittles flavors. Ooh, I don't know. I think original red is the winner. Wild berry all taste the same to me. I put them in my mouth and it's like cough syrup. I like putting the rainbow of the original red pack in because it's a cornucopia of flavor. Yeah, no problem. I'll see you in a few hours. Oh, I've got some Cheez-Its as well, Brett. They're just too crunchy for a live stream. Love that. Yes, sir. Fuck you, sir. He's like, God damn, she's hot. I need a woman like that can take charge. Physically watch yourself. The line delivery, there's something to the rhythm and the cadence. I know I talk about that a lot. I swear, guys, there is something about that makes these lines more memorable to me than in some other movies. I'm a very musically driven guy. Oh, and we've got our first appearance by Richard Liberty, who plays Dr. Logan or Frankenstein. And I think our first shot of Bub here played very well by Howard Sherman. You might recognize Howard Sherman. He was in an episode of, well, you probably won't recognize him based on the makeup here. So that right there, it sounds like he says, I'm sorry to her in the most faint of ways. It really does. But yeah, Howard Sherman was on an episode of Seinfeld. I think he played Lex Luthor in the Superboy TV show from back in the 80s as well. And Richard Liberty here absolutely kills it. He's so good in The Crazies, another Romero film from the early 70s. And his excitement and unhinged nature here as Dr. Logan is incredible. I mean, he's absolutely right, and he's batshit at the very same time. Sarah's like, oh shit, this is the guy that's our leader. Ugh. Todd says, my only quibble about this movie is when Rhodes kills Logan, they're all chest shots, no headshot. He should have turned. In my headcanon, Logan and Bub become zombie besties. Yeah, I think I remember what's his face? Though he does a commentary for this movie. Oh, he wrote or he directed Rules of Attraction. He helped Tarantino write Pulp Fiction. Anyways, I can't remember his name right now. He said the very same thing, but I think something that was in the original script that didn't get moved over into this script, unfortunately, is the fact that the phenomenon has ended. That you have to be bitten by this point, that just dying doesn't bring you back. But yeah, they don't actually showcase it in the film for sure. I appreciate that, Brett. Yeah, they must have had to get down there in a hurry. I think of the acting in The Breakfast Club, actually. Oh, like in comparison to this, like the rhythm and the chemistry. Yeah, it's really funny. I think Sherman Howard is his actual name, and then Howard Sherman was the stage name. Whoa, freeze-dried Skittles, crazy. Is he the junior? I don't think he's the junior mint guy, is he? He's the guy that Elaine was going to break up with, but while he's in a coma, he loses all this weight, and she goes to see him, and she's like, oh, he's like kind of sexy. Is he really the junior mint guy? Maybe he is. So yeah, this is I love this scene here because, you know, it's Sarah believes in the science. She just doesn't, you know, approve of Logan's ways, you know. And I mean, look at those effects there with the brain and the pumping. Ugh. It was all so believable because that is an actual person with their head down through the table. I mean, Tom Savini's magician work here is just top notch. And this is where Sarah's starting to realize, like, yeah, these people, these military guys might kill us. Like we really are in a ticking time bomb situation here. This is another amazing effect here with a cutout on the table, of course. Spilling out of the guts. Beautiful. I love how nonchalantly Logan's just like, well, there we go. I'm just going to do that. And you are dead now. Yeah. It can all be pulled together in a matter of minutes. And I'm about to do that thing. Yeah, I just couldn't remember because there's so many different. Seinfeld's one of those like shows where just there's so many bit characters and so many little things that happen. I just knew he was in a coma and he gets sexier because he loses weight, according to Elaine. Love it. The fucking booze deal because there won't fucking be any of it fucking left. And it's funny you say Breakfast Club, Tyler, because that came out the very same year. So it just so happens that these movies have that similar vibe, especially when they're kicking it here. Yeah, I bet that was Greg Nicotero whose body that was, since he was Savini's apprentice. That's what I would imagine. Bub looks like he listens to goth music. He's wearing a Canadian tuxedo. He looks like he listens to Jim Croce. I would have liked it better. I think The Breakfast Club is good. I don't think it's great, but I can think of a handful more John Hughes movies I like more. Here we go, Rhodes. Another power play. Love Joe Pilato's performance here. Greek salad. Equations, fancy terms that don't mean a thing. And his accent's so good. We're all in there just jerking each other off. It's amazing. Here we go, twin snakes. Thank you, Germany. Thank you, Haribo. I don't care that she's wearing these mom pants. I'm digging Lori Cardell here. She is, I think she's beautiful here. Maybe that's a hot take. I think she's pretty hot here. I like that face. I like that face. Are you hitching a ride with Cody? Is he going to swing by and pick you up in a semi? How are you paying, Brett? Ass, grass, or cash? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I never even saw St. Elmo's Fire. I like stuff like Weird Science and Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, stuff like that. There's Greg Nicotero on the left there. Even Steele is like, are you fucking serious, dude? I thought we were bros. Like, this is some straight up gangster shit here. And John is, we've seen him a little bit, but John is really going to insert himself as far as like I need to be the calming side. Yeah, these military guys, they're like, is this really about to happen? I love the tension here. Music's great. And just a lot of like significant looks and great editing. George would always edit as he shot. Such a great director and editor and writer. And at this point, It's amazing. I think it's such great storytelling that here we are, 31 minutes, 31 and a half minutes into the movie, and we're jumping on a treadmill that's already moving. These characters have nothing to do with Dawn of the Dead. We just know that it's probably after that time. And boom, 30 minutes in, and we know what the stakes are here. Yeah, I've just never seen it. Not because I avoided it, but, you know, I was too young when it came out to really care, I guess. Dutch is friggin' awesome. I love Dutch. Weird Science. Oh yeah, that's about to happen here. He's just waltzing in right now, Aaron. And great. It's a great way to answer the audience's questions too. You know, the script is so friggin' tight and smart here. 400,000 to 1 is what they're outnumbered by. Crazy. Yeah, Some Kind of Wonderful. It's a really good one. I watched that because Leanna recommended it. Yeah, Eric Stoltz. Elias Codius in there as well. Gosh, I love my ass too much. Well, I guess you can give instead of. Hell yeah, Jamie. That's not so bad, Brett. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah. I'm planning a trip with the Horror Show Channel people. We're planning something to go like out to New Jersey for something. I don't know if I'm going to fly or if we're going to drive or what the hell we're going to do, but hopefully some of the East Coast people can come and hang out with us when we're out there for that. That'd be really cool. Yeah, 6 to 7 if you're there the whole time. Yeah, it's about 6 or 7 out to LA for H45, and it was well worth it for sure. Brett Man is working material for a stand-up routine tonight, and it's looking pretty good. So yeah, this is their last pitch. I love the look that Logan gives to Sarah here when he's like, Sarah, quit fucking with my stuff. Richard Liberty's performance, man. The look he gives her. Like, you fucking with my shit right now, you're gonna get us killed, girl. That was research. Yeah, I'm still eating the twin snakes. I gotta have one of every flavor, you know. There we go. All right. Or I may never find what I'm looking for. I think that's my biggest fear. Yeah. Sarah's research. Turn that into a song. Well, here's the thing, Brett. You should hope they start sucking really bad, and then the tickets will be very affordable. Take that next train out of here. Yeah, when is that trip? Or when is that fest, Jamie? I'm super pumped for Mad Monster Party this weekend. Gonna get to kick it with all the horror show people at the con and hang out with Vin. And yeah, you'll keep an eye out, guys. I'll be going live. I'll be on my phone, but I'll bring a nice little lav mic, so there'll be some good audio. But I'll go live from the con, maybe a little bit every day, and you might see me pop up on a really cool channel with a very awesome host. So let's see what happens. I ain't saying how much. Just from what I've heard, Brett, ass is more of a colloquialism, not technically giving your ass, but some sort of sugar in the sexual sense. Yeah, I think what's happening here is Logan is, and they sort of, I think John references it later that Logan can keep Rhodes going because of his fancy talk. And I think that Logan thinks that line of credit has no expiration or no end. Yeah, for sure. And he's just sort of like, fuck it. Like, if you're going to kill me, kill me. I'm just going to, I'm going to shoot my shot. Oh, you get to be passenger princess? Love this music here. Aren't you, Tyler, you're in like the LA area though, right? But yeah, makeup trip, maybe when it's not 120 out. Come on and hang out. No, they would never have me. They have no idea who I am. If they're there, I don't even know if they're planning on being there. I guess I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'd love to say what's up and everything. I enjoy their channel. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be on Dead Meat. That would be crazy. I mean, crazy awesome. I would absolutely be into that. Love that. I'll never get over that effect. That, cut out the bottom of a bed and put some stuff on top of someone's stomach and have them turn over and it all spills out. It looks so good. No, there's just talk that there's a channel that I really dig that usually goes live on Friday night. The head of the channel is going to be there, and it sounds like through a friend that my presence on the show has been requested. So if that is in fact true, that's why I'm not saying too much right now. Once I know it's happening for real, if I go live that day, earlier that day, I'll let you guys know what's up, just so that way you can actually plan on showing up. Gotcha. Coming up in a little bit then. Okay. I was talking about the Redskins, but thanks for the extra information. Yeah, I thought you were talking about giving head on the road. My bad. Almost the same thing. Yeah, no, I mean, the Redskins were friggin' terrible from 91 until what, last year? There was a couple playoff years in there. Not much, though. Yeah. Pretty rough. I mean, pretty much the way the Chiefs were from 1967 to 5 years ago, So you guys know what it's like because you had almost 50 years of no one caring. What was there, 1 or 2 years when, Joe Montana was there where they were kind of good? Yeah. But yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl next year. I'm just joking. I don't know about that. NFC Championship again would be great. I think we got some time with Jaden. Just you could take you could auto tune the sales research and you turn it into like a, and you could even work in the I'm running this monkey farm now. I'm running this monkey farm now. That's Sarah's research. What the fuck are you doing with my time? Kind of thing, Have a good one, Brett. Thank you so much for kicking it with us, bud. We'll see you next time around. And I know I totally talked through the I'm running this monkey farm now because you guys are just so entertaining. You guys are distracting me from this amazing movie. How dare you? Todd says, Logan's seriously delusional anyway. How does he plan on going out in the wild and domesticating hundreds of millions of zombies? Yeah. This tune right here, if you guys are watching along, oh my God, I love this music right here. This just really gives those island vibes, you know, laying on a beach, chilling. Sleep well, bud. Oh man, I usually talk through the commercials during the Super Bowl. They were really disappointing this last year. Nothing cool. Yeah, every single year the Cowboys are like, "This is our year." Yeah, right, guys. And go 10-7 and miss the playoffs. I always thought this boys being boys scene with them wrestling around roughhousing is odd, but I get it. They probably need that release. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they really are just acting like high schoolers at this point. Sorry, got an itchy ear. Love the backyard setup. This is like the setup people have in Arizona, except for you really are in the heat and the sun. That's very likely, Brad, that the Eagles will repeat. I think it's going to be extremely difficult to beat them in the NFC. Yep. I mean, when was the last time they won 2 playoff games? Don't even remember. That's awesome news that she got a great job, man. Yeah, that can be really rough, especially for that amount of time, but that's good to hear, especially if she's pumped about it and there's a bright future there. Hell yeah. Awesome, Raj. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, and you're watching the movie along, so it definitely makes it more entertaining than just like, you know, having dead air in between my little comments. It takes more energy to keep quiet. I love it. I love that line. Let go of what you got now. Oh, so good. Yes. Yes, we are, Brett. Earlier today, the heat index was 125. Right now it is 110 and it's about 8 p.m. So yeah, pretty rough stuff. Oh my goodness. What a glass. I think that's brandy they're drinking, right? He's like, I'll keep the bottle because I'm Irish. I'm going to check the poll really quick. So what do you rate Day of the Dead? 67% of you give it 5 stars, 19% give it 3, 14% give it 4 stars, 0%, no one has given it 2 stars. Well, that's a relief out of 21 votes. Yeah, you know, I feel like with the Jets, it doesn't hurt to be excited because it's just been a really rough experience for you guys. So you might as well be optimistic every year. I mean, really, you guys just have to worry about the Bills. But I do think the Patriots are going to be better this year than last year. You know, Mike Vrabel, I think he's going to be a top-notch coach for that team. And they've put together some good pieces. I think Drake May is going to get better. So, you know, it may, I don't know. There's no reason to not be hopeful about your Jets. It may take a few years, but I felt that way about the Redskins, and then they went to the NFC Championship with a rookie quarterback. So, yeah. Wait, Raj, did you just become a channel member? How did I miss that? I loved John's whole speech here. It's a waste of time. Time is all we got left now. And then when she's basically like, this is all there is left to do. And he's like, no way. Like we can go somewhere and have some babies and like restart and tell everyone never to come back to this fucking place. I love that. Yeah, that amount of heat, it is pretty bad. Oh, working in agriculture, landed a job in the Bay Area in pharmaceuticals. Oh, shoot. All right. Dang. It's got to be a pretty good job. Yeah, the malls are all closed. Yeah, I'm just sort of in the middle because since I'm not a fan of any AFC team, I'm just sort of like, I want to see something different than the Chiefs. But whatever, you know, if they get there, they get there. I did root for the Eagles in the Super Bowl, even though I'm a Redskins fan, because I just wanted to see something different, you know. If when you're not a fan of the team that's winning over and over and over again, it becomes boring. Humidity is not bad right now, but we did have some storms last weekend. I love this whole thing about the creator. He visited a curse on us. Yeah, maybe he figured we're getting too big for our britches. I love that explanation. I think it's my favorite like explanation of what's going on with the zombie thing. Is it's just like God's had enough. He's just pulling the plug on the operation. This is one great big 18-mile tombstone. Yeah, it hasn't been so bad out here, but yeah, was it last weekend? At the end of last week, right before the weekend, we had a really bad storm. So typically there's not too much humidity. Today, it looks like there's a little bit of haze, but it's like when it's 118, 125, like, yeah, I guess the humidity is adding that extra 7 degrees. But the different, like 118, 125, qual es la diferencia? You know, it's just brutal. Yeah, they're just two manly dudes that like to not be around the hullabaloo. Is that what it is? Hullabaloo? There we go. Yeah. Yeah, let's have a rematch of Super Bowl 26. Redskins, Bills. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm interested to see. Raj, I see that you became a channel member, but I didn't see that a membership was purchased. Why didn't it? It's weird that it didn't pop up here. Usually it pops up in the chat and it lets me know. But hey, man, welcome on into channel membership. Hell yeah. Thank you so much for your support, Raj. Really appreciate you, bud. We have a lot of fun here with the channel member stuff. Yesterday, we talked about and celebrated a whole bunch of movies that are having their 40th anniversary this year. So we went through. So if you missed that one yesterday, but if you go back, you can check it out. It was alive. And we just talked about all these great movies from 1985. And I'm not going to do that on the public version of the channel just because it was a bit too broad. But those are the fun kinds of things we do with the channel members. I also do trivia with channel members, which is really cool. And I'm working on putting together a Discord so we can do channel member watch parties. And on Discord, I can actually show the movie on the screen. And not only that, we can get together and have mixtape listening parties, and we can all listen to the music together. Because YouTube will absolutely not let me do either of those two things. So we're putting together some fun stuff for the members over here, bud. I imagine. Yeah, I imagine it's pretty rough out there on the East Coast. And here we got you know what I'm noticing here a lot this time more than others is the contrast of the background. Sometimes there's these pure blacks in the background that I'm really digging. I love this scene with Bub. It's just like really next evolution of the zombie. Howard Sherman's performance is incredible. Yeah, and I think the idea, somebody had mentioned in the chat, like, how are you going to socialize millions of them? Well, in the original script, there was an idea that some of them just had the capacity to learn and remember more. And so those zombies were going to wear like these orange vests, and they were actually going to be working with some of the military. They were going to be put in these orange vests. They were going to be given guns, and they were going to go out on assignment with humans. So I think that that's just an idea that got condensed and then not explained fully in the shooting script of the final version of the film, the unrated version of the film. But yeah, you would imagine that Logan would be able to, there would be more zombies out there, kind of like Bub, that would have the propensity to remember more and to behave. And then you would just rely on those zombies. You could use those zombies to kill the ones that couldn't be assimilated. And that would be the way you'd get ahead. Something like that. Oh, you've got the access. I know it only describes them here, but you have the access to all the fun emojis. Love it. Yeah, there's me screaming. A little good old Mario mushroom, because I'm an 80s kid, so I love my Mario. The Coca-Cola, again, 80s kid. And the fun question mark block. Love it. Maybe I need to think of some more fun emojis we can use. Ooh, push mowing it in the humidity. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. And then the point that Sarah makes here, it's not what it does, it's what it doesn't do. That yeah. Bub doesn't care that Logan's there, Yeah, all of these effects. And I think all they did was put extra skin, and he just like rubbed it, and it just moved the fake extra skin. And here we go. The party's pretty much fucking over here. Getting damn near it anyway. Frankie D says, I like how this movie delves into the moral dilemma of how zombies are regarded and treated, and if they're more than just mindless monsters, which the living can also be accused of, as we see with Henry. Henry. Which one is Henry? Or is that a reference to something else, Frankie? Sorry, I'm missing that last part, but I'm totally right there with you. That, yeah, it is all about, like, when he says, like, well, is Bub living? Well, I allow him to continue to exist or whatever, And yeah, I mean, I think even in Dawn of the Dead, they sort of make that point, because there's, with the last act of Dawn of the Dead, the characters are barely human anymore with what they're doing. This is incredible. This vocal performance here with the Hello, Anna Alicia. Pretty damn good. Yeah, Rhodes can't even believe it. And then the fact that Bub salutes Rhodes. So Bub must have had a military background, right? On my way home now. Thanks for keeping me from going crazy, everyone. I appreciate you all. Of course, Brad, continue to drive safe, and we'll keep you entertained, bud. Yep, zombie lives matter. Give a rotting, walking corpse a hug today. Yeah, if zombies existed now, there would be zombie rights protection groups for sure. Yeah, it's like he remembers reading. It's like it's this crazy thing about just remembering the life before, like a dream. Will do, Jamie. The Superman movie is getting some great reviews, says Raj. The DCU is back, baby. Yeah, guys, I'm going to see Superman twice tomorrow. 2:45 3D IMAX, and then 5:15 Dolby Theater. So I'm very excited to check it out twice in a row. My brother Matt's going to join me for the second screening, and I'm going to come right home and shoot a non-spoiler review. So keep an eye out for my non-spoiler review to drop very early Friday, maybe late Thursday. And guys, when I say non-spoiler, I really mean it. I've seen other channels out there that say they're non-spoiler reviews, and they're like, so at the beginning of the movie, Superman is blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, shut it off. Like, you're spoiling shit. Like, I don't want to know how the movie begins, y'all. I want to know certain things, and I've heard it from more than one. So I really mean it. No spoilers. And then on Sunday evening, after Mad Monster is all wrapped up, I'm going to do all the spoilers live stream about Superman. So if you guys are interested in it and you check out the movie this weekend, you're going to want to join that. Oh, wait, I didn't talk through the I'm running this monkey farm now. All right, I'm going to shut up. Right? Salute my ass. Yeah, the AC is going to be crazy in the theater. It feels cold when you go from 120 to like 70. Nice. Yeah, I don't think there's a 4DX happening here, unfortunately. There's no use for it all. Okay, for whatever reason, I thought the monkey farm thing, I thought I didn't miss it, and it was here. Sometimes it's really tough when I'm like talking through everything to think of the movie straight. We got Dexter Holland from The Offspring there, version zombie there. Yeah, Bub sees something in Rhodes of like, dude, if you ain't gonna recognize me, yeah, and like I don't like the way you're looking at me, bro. Like I salute, you won't salute back. Now we got a problem. You don't just talk movies, you give a survey of different entertainment and media. We dive into music and TV shows as well. That's what's cool about this channel. Thank you so much, Jay. I really do appreciate that. Oh my God, we got a zombie that's broken loose from the leash. We've got a crazy bite coming up. One of the best in the movie here. That is friggin' ridiculous. You can see like the spinal cord. Oh my God. The spinal cord through all the blood. That is one of the most realistic bites I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to respond to your chat here, Jay, in just a second, but this is just too good. Another awesome bite. Oh, it's just, I don't know, man. Great headshot there. The squibs and the blood and everything. Man, this right here still pumping free. And this is one of the most amazing headshots I've ever seen in a movie. The way the actor performs, the little bit of, well, whatever. I'll just let his performance speak for itself. Hopefully you're watching along. The mercy kill here. The way he moves back and like twitches forward and then just relaxes. I don't know. It is, I know you're imagining these things because most of us have never, goddamn, I hope that none of us have, but most of us don't see something like that in real life, but you just get an idea of imagining what it would be like. And then here, this whole thing with Miguel is friggin' crazy. First off, knocking somebody out with a giant rock by hitting him in the back of the head, you could kill them. So don't recommend it. But I guess they are in a desperate situation here. Great effect there. Fake arm, real arm with hole cut out of machete. And they're John's picking up on what she's putting down. John's like, okay, we're trying to isolate this infection. Oh my God. And Lori's about to get even sexier, taking her top layer off. I know I'm thinking about the wrong things here during all of this, but she looks really good in those jeans too, guys. She is a tough, sexy woman. Proof that you can have strong female characters in a movie and not have people obsess over it and not have it overshadow the strong male characters. You can have plenty of strong characters in a movie. This shot right here of the stump getting burned up. Hardcore. And so J Beach, getting back to your chat here. I don't just talk movie. I give a survey of different entertainment and media. I really do appreciate that. I try to keep things, you know, you always want to have a focus when you're on YouTube because that's what's going to drive the algorithm and it's what's going to, I think, keep people engaged for the most part. So I always try to, you know, keep it focused, you know, movies and horror specifically. But yeah, I've been trying to, you know, music is my first passion and my favorite form of art. So I'm always going to find a way to talk about it no matter what. I'll talk about sports every night. I'm a big sports guy. I'm very interested in politics and everything, but I'm not interested in really talking about them on YouTube. I'm sure you guys can certainly understand, although sometimes we may touch on a social issue here and there, and usually because those social issues play a part in the movies we watch and enjoy for sure. But yeah, I've been trying, even with the pre-recorded content and with the shorts and everything, Jay, I've been trying to mix in some stuff that is just, yeah, more about film and not so much driven on just the horror part of it. I've been going to a lot of movies lately, so I'm looking forward to watching Superman and putting together a review, and maybe it'll bring in some new people for the community. And, you know, I think once people jump into the chat and they see how awesome you guys are and how engaging everyone is and how we have kind of a family, sort of like a party atmosphere on our streams, I think that that's what really like hooks people in for good. So I'm looking forward to that. And thank you, man, so much for the kind words. Really appreciate you. Yeah, the previous meeting. Yeah. Damn it. You know what? I will say this, Raj. If I go a few days without a stream, I start getting the itch for sure. Yeah, I'm glad that you're understanding and that I'm not being accused of being a fraud. I mean, I'm a more of an NFL fan, but I do watch college for sure. I'm a big Michigan fan. My dad went to the Coast Guard Academy, got his undergraduate, and then went to U of M for his master's in environmental science. So I grew up a Michigan fan, even though I grew up in Alaska. And it's been a good last few years for us. I think we're going to be back up on the rise here as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so well done. Yeah, I still think these effects are some of the best. And Laurie Cardill's acting here, I mean, everyone's doing a great job, but she really does look like shell-shocked. She is shaking. And the way Terry Alexander's looking at her, there is a really beautiful chemistry between the cast here, especially these two characters. Yeah, I don't think so either. I think this is the best for sure. Yeah, it's a wild scene. I remember the first time I watched this, and I'm watching it with my dad and a couple of friends, and my dad was like so sucked in. And when the shit hits the fan, like at this point, you're an hour into the movie when it really starts getting crazy, and just the verbal reactions from my dad as we watch this, I loved it. There you go. Go blue, Chester. Love it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he wakes up at first when they're burning, and then he passes right the fuck back out. Yeah. Yeah, music is the best, man. We just lost 2 men. Yeah. You know, for me, I didn't even care that they won because we won the year before and we beat them. We've beaten them like 4 times in a row now. So I was like, oh, take your consolation prize, y'all. They were lucky to get in. That's what's up. Yep. I bring him in. You guys keep him here. Notre Dame. There you go. And this guy, I will say this about what is it? Anthony Salazar? No, Anthony DeLeo. Miguel Salazar is the character's name. Anthony DeLeo. I don't dislike the entire performance. He just comes off as like very like overtly feminine in a way that to me is somewhat distracting. for the character that he's playing. But especially here when he's doing his whole like, you know, feverish, just got my arm chopped off. Like, you know, his character has a great kind of turnaround and a good arc overall, because he is sort of like, I'm going to make sure these other military fuckers don't win. And I know my friends will make it. Well, maybe he doesn't know that, but he's hoping they will. That's the craziest looking zombie I've ever seen. Like, what is that? Some sort of gargoyle zombie? Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, you'd figure these people would all be totally mad, you know? Mizzou, all right. Disappointed in their 2024 season. Hope this season will be much better. We need our transfer quarterback, Tribula from Penn State, to come good for that to happen. Yeah. It's tough in college. I have a tougher time. I enjoy the NFL a lot more because I think the game is a lot more refined, and especially the defenses are smarter in the NFL. So I like that about it. Yeah, Tasso. He's a stunt performer as well as playing Private Torres. Yeah, there's a couple scenes where it's happening, but isn't that like, what is that? Not realistic? I mean, watch Network. You know, Patty Chayefsky's The Network that he wrote, that movie has multiple scenes where there's more than one argument or conversation going on screen at the same time, but it's supposed to have that real sort of feel. Great model of Greg Nicotero's head there. I guess he was supposed to be Agent Cooper. This moment here is when my dad was like, yeah, when McDermott says right here, I'm beginning to think we should take that helicopter before somebody else does. My dad's like, yeah, yes, that's where he was at that point. Not really, Raj. I like Apocalypse and Extinction. I don't really like the other ones very much. Really don't like that first one. Yeah. Yeah, college is fun to keep an eye on Saturdays. I'll watch the Michigan games when they start to become like bigger games, you know? Agent Cooper loves coffee. I was talking about Major Cooper, Jamie, Major Cooper. And this is kind of where it all gets pretty sad pretty quick here, unfortunately. This moment, Bub is like, oh, everything in my instinct is telling me to bite your arm. And then I see your face and I'm like, that's the guy that feeds me. Oh, okay. Okay. Like a pet, you know, like having a dangerous animal as a pet. He's like, what the hell is that? Bloody finger? The acting is so good. I'm sorry, guys. Some of the moments in this movie just really like suck me right in. Yeah. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff that none of them knew. And it's a shame because there is some good work he's doing, but he is completely unhinged. You know, he's half right and he's half wrong, and both sides are on very opposite sides of the right and wrong spectrum. Oh, Jamie. We got Brett throwing the $1.99 super chat out. What's happening? Brett says, appreciate the interaction you have with us. Of course, man. I love it. I love it. I live for it. My digital friends are my real friends. Yeah, this is a blast for me, guys. I don't do, you know, I didn't start doing YouTube because I was like, oh, it's gonna like, I want people to recognize me, or I want to do this for a job, or I want people to say they like my stuff. Like, I got into YouTube because I watched people like Dave McRae and Lee McCoy and Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards, and, you know, just all sorts of channels. And I thought to myself, I love movies the way that these guys love movies, and I love some of the same exact movies. Most of them, you know, are right there in sync with one another. And I felt like I had something to say. I was like, I feel like I've got a voice here, like not just a literal voice, but I feel like I can contribute to the conversation and to the community in a bigger way than just being an audience member. And, you know, I played music for a lot of my life when I was younger. And when that chapter of my life closed, it just gets tougher and tougher to play music if you're not doing it professionally. And I had this lull of not having a creative hobby or a creative outlet in my life. And it was really like festering and turning into depression, if I'm being honest. Logan's about to get shot to shit here. Great squibs. Crazy. It's a lot of bullets. There's Tazo in the background. Yep. So yeah, you know, that creative void festered, it turned into depression, and I wanted to do something. I felt like I had to do something to get out of my funk and squeeze some creative juices out, so to speak. So I was like, well, YouTube is a good way to do it. And let's see what this can be. And tomorrow is going to be my 2nd anniversary of officially creating my channel. I think my first video dropped on the 12th or the 13th of July, but I consider July 10th to be the birthday of the channel because that's when I went to Mad Monster Party in 2023. I saw the press or the pre-screening of Dylan's New Nightmare. I decided I was going to do a review. I also became an associate producer on It's Me, Billy Chapter 2. I got to meet Dave McCrae. I told him, dude, I've just signed up to be an associate producer. I'm also starting my own channel, and I'm really looking forward to this journey and blah, 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 blah. So, you know, as much as you appreciate the interaction, I really appreciate it as well. We've got 20 people hanging out, and it's me watching a movie here. That's right. If you're joining, we're watching Day of the Dead. Usually I have it down below, but I want you guys to see that promo code for the Death Squad merch. But yeah, thank you so much for the $1.99, Brett. Really appreciate you. Man, that thought had not even crossed my mind. That's very interesting, Aaron. He might have done that. We're about to see another great headshot here. Unbelievable. Just taking away both guns and the machete. Yeah. The hand over the machete. Damn. Ah. The look on John Amplis's face. Fucking crazy. This movie, man, when you think it just did something crazy and it's not going to do anything crazier, there's so many surprises here, and then they just throw them right in the corral. Are you kidding me? They're basically like, yeah, you said it couldn't hold all of us, so now we're just going to take you because you're the pilot and screw everybody else. Crazy. I played punk rock, pop punk, that kind of stuff. I played in a couple, like I did some acoustic solo stuff as well, Jay, and I played in a folk Americana, a couple folk Americana bands in Portland as well. Those are my men in there. I love this ad by Jamie. Naked? Not sure what to wear? We got you covered. Check out the Death Squad gear here. Yep, you guys can click that link. There's some really affordable gear there. You know, t-shirts aren't more than $24, I think. Hoodies are like 35. Hats anywhere from 15 to 18. We got mugs from like $10 to $12 depending on the color. Whole bunch of really fun stuff on the shop, guys. And yeah, use that code Death Squad, all one word, all capitals, 15% off at checkout. Thank you, Brett. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you, bud. Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? Pretty soon, before you know it, you'll be like, I've been hanging out here for 2 years, right? We need his ass. That line. Yeah. How did you know I'm completely naked right now, Jamie? Psychic. Yeah, the effects are crazy. You've seen this before, though, right, Ashton? I would imagine. Yeah, because when you were talking about it earlier, yeah, the effects are so good in this movie. I mean, if for anyone that is like, I only watch practical effects, and I'm not trying to make fun of anyone that's like that. I'm just doing a silly voice. This is the movie for you. This is this and like the Evil Dead and Reanimator. Yeah, total gut punch moment. This movie always brings up great, albeit bittersweet memories. It was the last movie we showed before Granddad's Drive-In closed. Well, what a memory, Todd. That is, it's unfortunate that the drive-in closed, but that is, I mean, what a movie to cap it all off with. So I'd imagine you were able to watch Back to the Future as well in the theater. And guys, I meant to do this before we got going. So technically, the release in the United States, so on June 30th, the movie premiered. June 30th, 1985, premiered in New York. July 3rd, 1985, there was a limited release. And on July 19th, 1985 is when it went wide in the United States. So we're kind of like right between, we're, on the shy side of being between those releases there. So I felt like this was a perfect time to do it on Late Night with the Davey. We usually get a good crowd in here. And I'm not planning on doing watch parties very often on Late Night with the Davey, but something like Day of the Dead, I've been meaning to do it, and I've been, busy lately and really wanting to watch this one with you guys. And Bub figured out how to get free. Yes, drinking he's about to run out here. Yeah, I've been playing the acoustic a little bit more lately, Tyler. Playing the acoustic, and I did a little bit of writing this last weekend as well. You guys are hilarious. Oh, you've never seen this one, Ashton. Okay, well, what are you thinking so far? I mean, you said you like the effects, and I know I've been like blah, blah, blahing in your ear and everything for a first time watch, but what do you think? Did you put in a vote in the poll, or are you waiting until the movie's over? How about this effect right here with the shovel? Again, cut out shovel and then switch to the real shovel. Look at that. And it lands. Oh, they cut it a little bit early, but it lands perfectly. Ooh. We had the drive-in and a regular theater. Back to the Future showed at the regular. Oh, gotcha. Great shot of the fake head there with the eyes moving. This echo, that real echo, amazing. He should just double blow his head off, right? Great fat lip effect there. Really nice cut on John's. I mean, even the little wounds look great in this movie. And John's realizing I can't be like Rhodes. Like, I want to blow this guy's brains out, but then I'm going to be like him. Yeah. The movie is just nonstop excitement. The hand box. Fix it. Fix it, man. Hey, language. We don't use that word in here. Come on. I do appreciate, though, that, I like that Romero, and I've said this before, especially with Dawn of the Dead, I like that he writes unsavory characters, because there are people out there that talk in all sorts of unsavory ways. And so I don't think that there's any reason to, especially if you're writing bad characters, to include that kind of stuff. Holy cow, 4% of the 24 voters say that this is a 2-star movie. Oh my goodness. Who is that? Is that somebody that just jumped in to vote and leave? They're not even hanging out here? Crazy. Oh my God, I'm seeing this thing in a DM thread I have on my Instagram. That is just too funny. Okay, back to everything else. Okay. That is pretty hardcore. I guess that's the risk you run with the non-pay sites. You know, they'll let you watch 2/3 of the movie and then they'll really ramp up the commercials. Yeah, Rickles like barely has it at the beginning of the movie and really loses it. Man, the lighting right here, I love this lighting, the blue and red. John's aim is just absolutely incredible. Through the back of the head. I like this guy that's like all excited, like, friend. He's like so like, oh my God, I'm gonna make a friend. I love that guy. There you go. Amazing squib. The blood coming out of the front of that. Oh my goodness. This is just beautiful. It is just beautiful. Got some incredible Hulk hands there. And Miguel is like, welcome to the smorgasbord, guys. Got football player. I saw a bride. Guy in coveralls. Got a military dude. Somebody wearing golfing pants. I'm just going to call him a golfer. These bites here. Language. Whoa, language. They're basically like, oh, he's got us. Oh my God, another great neck bite. I hope you feel all the way better so soon, Jamie. I know it's miserable with it being humid there and you having this cold that's just hanging on forever. I hope you get some good rest, and thank you so much for kicking it with us tonight. Sleep well. So what? We got about 15 minutes left, guys. It's about to get pretty even crazier here in Day of the Dead. And I do want to let you know before I forget, next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be on Pat That Halloween Movie Collectors channel. We're going to be watching Land of the Dead, which I really enjoy. I think Land is probably my third favorite in the franchise. So just wanted to let you guys know before I forget, because I probably will. Yeah, I think he's just kind of assuming. I think he's sort of like, screw these other guys. I want to make sure they die. And he's figuring that his friends are going to be okay because John is the pilot. That's what I'm guessing. Although, yes, it's never explicitly stated. But yeah, he's putting everyone at risk. That's for sure. Although maybe in his condition, he's just not really thinking everything through all the way. Yeah, some of these bites, man, the skin, the neck and the chest bites. He's like, oh, the keys. Oh, the keys. It's a long late night with the Davy tonight, folks. Great emotional moment here with Bub. He's like happy to show Logan, like, look, I found out how to get free, Dad. And then Bub realizing that the acting here, it's like, it gives me goosebumps. It really does. Like, I just don't see, maybe it's the way that movies are shot, the way they're edited now. That's the difference. don't see emotional moments like this in these types of movies anymore. Like, even if you like 28 Days Later, the emotional moments are kind of clumsy and odd. I felt, like they just didn't really seem like you could buy into them as much. But something like that, I mean, that is like Howard Sherman's performance as Bub is, I mean, to me, it's right up there with like Karloff as Frankenstein or The Mummy and Bela Lugosi as Dracula, Lon Chaney Jr. or Lon Chaney the senior. How's this guy think he's? Who do you think you're hiding from, bud? Who are you hiding from? Come on. The head rip, man. They got all the use out of that severed head that they could, or that robotic severed head that they could get. Yeah, so sad, man. Yep, 2.5 hours earlier, and now this. No, the back is okay. My throat, my voice does okay as well, but perhaps I should be like Brett Patrick and I should stand a little bit more. I just don't have the desk for it. Well, yeah, Rickles here goes out with a bang, literally. The tearaway here on near his eye, that is crazy. That effect is crazy. What is that? How do you do that? And then just biting his fingers off. Oh my God. I think what it is that there's just something so, yeah, Bub is like a baby. He's innocent, I guess, He also represents like the truth in Logan's work. The lighter side, not lighter side as far as like comically, but just like the non-grotesque side of Logan's work, I guess. So I think there's something about that too with Bub. And that whatever it is, I mean, it's down to the performance, because he basically makes you want to see Bub find happiness. It's wild. It is pretty wild. I love this ballerina. She's still got her moves going, still walking on her tippy toes. A little metal guitar in there. Yeah. I like that because the zombies are destroying his larynx. His voice pitch gets high as they rip the head off. Yeah, it's a really nice touch. That's something I think they ended up, if I remember correctly, on the commentary or in the documentary, they talk about it and they say they did that in post because they realized that the scream, you couldn't keep the scream going the whole way through without doing something to the pitch. Yeah, there's a fishing zombie. There's all sorts. I think, one of the guys in the tracksuits that had his arms out like that, there's the two guys, the one guy with the mustache, I think that was Savini's like uncle or something like that. So there's all sorts of people, all sorts of Pittsburghians. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think this is easily his best work. We get another neck bite. Oh, they're just so brutal, man. These headshots are so juicy, dude. And he just knows it's over, right? Yeah, Aaron, those are certainly looking like crosses back there. Yep. Looking like a crucifix back there, two of them together. And this headshot, crazy. And it's 3 crucifixes as well. Very biblical. Yeah, for sure. Loving the blue and red light again. But yeah, Jay, I think that Savini's work on Friday the 13th is good. It was also, done 5 years before this. So he got better. I think his work in The Prowler is even better than Friday the 13th, and that was just 1 year after Friday the 13th. Final Chapter, even better than The Prowler. So he was always improving and always stretching his talents, you know, and just trying to see what he could do and what he could get away with on each subsequent film that he worked on. I mean, it's somebody that is extremely passionate about what they do and incredibly talented at the same time. And I know that he and George have been friends for a really long time. So I bet anytime he got to work with George, you know, he would have worked on Night of the Living Dead, but he was in Vietnam when that happened. But as we all know, being in Vietnam is one of the things that gave him his ability to, you know what some of this stuff looked like, or be able to approximate what it would look like for the stuff that's more fantastical. So I bet anytime he got to work with George, he was absolutely pumped. I bet they were like kids at camp. Dun, dun, dun. This music right here. Dun, 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 dun. So this beautiful shot too of the silo. There's just something like really nice and like hopeful about the melody and the music here. Love the John Harrison tunes, man. Really digging his stuff. You know, it's totally different than Goblin. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I just think they both fit their respective films so friggin' well. Like, I don't know if I can pick between the two. The Goblin music is definitely more fun. I'll say that. Good to know you're still there, Leanna. Thank you for hanging out with us. The silent mod. And Rhodes just got shot. He's screwed. Hope you're doing well in Fortnite, Lee. Jay says he did The Prowler. I didn't know that, Davey. I love The Prowler and rewatch it on Tubi a lot. I'm a huge fan of The Prowler as well, Jay. Very, you know, The Prowler and My Bloody Valentine came out the same year. They're very similar in the whodunit, you know, revenge slashers. And also like, hey, don't celebrate this thing or I'm coming back kind of slashers. Another shot to Rhodes. And Pilato's doing a great job. A lot of times in movies, someone gets shot in their arm and they're just like able to use the arm and the hand just fine. In this one, they actually work it in. I feel like, you know, it's a true full body performance here. You know, not just by Pilato, by everyone, but this is just Pilato's moment. But yeah, Jay, Savini did the effects for The Prowler. And I think, you know, The Prowler and My Bloody Valentine, I've said it for a while on the channel. They're both so, like, when I saw Thanksgiving, which I love Thanksgiving, I was like, oh my gosh, this movie reminds me of The Prowler and My Bloody Valentine. And I love that. And everyone else was like, oh, this movie's like Scream. And I'm like, what? Just because it's a mystery? Everything else about Thanksgiving is much more like The Prowler and My Bloody Valentine. There we go. Awesome moment of Bub with the chain wrapped around his neck like he's Jason frickin' Voorhees saluting to Rhodes. And a great choke on him moment here. I mean, come on, folks. The way Bub just like sneers and sniffs and is like, yeah, my work here is done. I'm going to go live a life. This right here. Oh my God. For all you first timers, Ashton, what do you think of this? This is crazy. Yelling choke on him. I love it so much. That's true too, Jay. It probably got a lot easier. The movies he did got bigger budgets. Yeah, I would imagine. There's George Romero just walked by the screen, guys. So when you see that cart go by the screen, right to left, and there is that scarf hanging down, that's George's scarf. He's wearing it, I believe, in Dawn of the Dead and maybe in some of his other cameo appearances. So a nice little director cameo, not his face on screen, but certainly he gets a little bit of a show there. And then, of course, we have our banquet scene, which is really good here in Day of the Dead. Well, I don't know what happened with my voice there. Not every zombie film. What was that? I did not. Not every zombie film has a really good banquet scene. I love this is just a collage of, you know, zombie buffet action. I absolutely love it. And I don't know. I have not seen that documentary, Jay. So I'm not sure. I should watch it though. I think for most of this, it's either just paying attention to the credits, looking at the trivia, watching other people. Like I watch a lot of YouTube, man. So watching other people talk about it and, you know, share the work of these people and do deep dives on their careers and stuff like that. Yeah, you can really see that rubber chicken get pulled out too right away. Yeah, it's amazing. And there was some little backstory on that too. They went away. They had like the weekend off during the shoot. Somebody unplugged the fridge that had all of the chicken parts in it. And when they came back, it was like completely rancid and gross. And they still use those chicken parts, some real chicken parts for that scene. So when Pilato is sitting there saying choke on him, I think he had to have stuff up his nose. And he said like it was still really tough for him not to puke the whole time they were doing that scene. She is looking good in her little, you know, kind of long john shirt tucked into her jeans. Yeah. What's up, girl? How you doing? Salisbury and such. How you doing, Lori? I like the way she. Anyways, so yeah, here they are safely on the beach, and we're back to the calendar. So our three of our mains. And you know what's crazy is like technically, I guess the movie is supposed to start on Halloween, on October 31st. There we go, guys. That was George A. Romero's Day of the Dead from 1985. We got the credits rolling here. I had an amazing time watching this one with you guys. I'll kick it for a little bit. However, we have been on for about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Holy cow. Let me hop back on over to you guys. Yeah, this movie gets crazy, Ashton. It sure does. I have never read Book of the Living Dead that was published after he died. He followed up on what happened to Sarah and friends on the island. Ah. So he wrote it, but it was published after he passed away. I need to check that out, Todd. Let me look that up so I don't forget. George Romero, Book of the Book of the Living Dead? The Living Dead. Okay, a novel. All right, George Romero and Daniel Kraus. And Joe Hill says it's a work of gory genius. Isn't Joe Hill is Stephen King's son, right? Is that the same guy? There we go. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that. Yeah, I need to check that out. Thank you for the heads up, Todd. The intestines in that scene look real. I think they did use some actual animal intestines, maybe other animals besides chicken. Yeah. I think a lot of it was chicken stuff, but it was all rotten. I'm glad you dug it, Ashton. 3.5 out of 5. I'll friggin' take it, man. I'll take it. Yes, please don't. I want to check it out myself. I didn't know it existed, so thank you for letting me know. Always fun kicking it with you, Jay. Frankie D is giving the movie a standing ovation. I love to see it. You are awesome, Frankie. Thank you so much, guys, for kicking it. Well, we still have 15 people here in the chat. And yeah, guys, that will I'll probably wrap it up here. Maybe within the next 5 minutes or so, we will call it a night. It has been a lot of talking for me today. So let me just wrap up a few things here. So this weekend, Mad Monster Party, Arizona. I'm going to be attending all days. Monday. Let me start that whole thing over again. This weekend, Mad Monster Party, Arizona. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be there. I will be going live randomly throughout the weekend. So keep an eye out. Make sure you have the notification bell hit. If you want to see me walk around the con, maybe we'll have chats with some fun cosplayers. Maybe I'll even bump into a celebrity or two. I'm not sure. That would be great. Of course, those people don't always do stuff for free, but maybe if I'm lucky or if I'm hanging out in the right company, you just never know what could happen. So keep an eye out for all of that this weekend. I'm going to be watching Superman twice tomorrow. So I will be recording a review and dropping that review either late tomorrow night, early Friday morning. So keep an eye out for my Superman review. It will be non-spoiler, and I really mean that, non-spoiler. I'll basically just read the story from the IMDb and tell you what I thought about it in general terms. We'll get into the acting, the directing, cinematography, effects, sound design, all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah, look out for that Thursday night or Friday morning. And then next Tuesday, the 15th, the day that I start therapy, I'm very excited to start therapy, and I'm not being sarcastic about that at all. I am very much looking forward to it. That night, I will be on Pat That Halloween Movie Collectors channel. We're going to be watching Land of the Dead, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're not subbed over there, got to go hit that sub button and at least notify yourself for that stream so you don't miss me over there. That's going to be an absolute... Holy cow, we got Eli Cortez jumping in. Damn, sorry, I missed this live. No worries. Eli, you can always scrub it on back and enjoy it. If you're a huge Day of the Dead fan, I think this one will be fun for you. We had a total blast. Let me, there we go. Standing ovation as well by Chester. I love it. Yeah, I think they had to have a bucket for him to throw up like right away. It was pretty crazy. Hey, thank you for showing up, Jay Beach. Always a pleasure having you guys kick it. And holy cow, now we have 18 people in here. Here we are, 2 hours, 41 minutes, almost 42 minutes. And we got more people showing on up. Best zombie movie ever made. That's what I've been trying to tell these people, Eli. And I think most of them had a really good time. There you go. Chester says 5.5 for me. Yeah, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we got everyone saying what's up to Eli, our amazing channel member and Death Squad mod. Guys, I got to make sure to close out this poll. What do you rate Day of the Dead? 5, 4, 3, or 2 stars? The winner, let's see here, 24 votes. And I'm going to let it load up. 24 votes, 62% of you say 5 stars, 16% say 4, 16% say 3, and 4% of people out there say that Day of the Dead is a 2-star movie. That kind of blows my mind that anyone would rate it that low, but what can you do? We got Dean Renner, one of our great Patreon members and channel members, that says, I've been watching, but I finished moving stuff around and organizing about an hour ago with a little more to do tomorrow. Yeah, that can be a total pain in the butt. It's got to be a relief to have most of it done. So, man, best of luck the rest of the way, Dean. Always a pleasure having you kick it with us, bud. Leanna says, take care and thanks for the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. You as well, miss. We will see you next time around. Say hi to the Fortnite kids for me. Surprisingly, the only commercials were at the beginning. There you go. Was that on Prime through AMC Plus? Have a good one, Jay. We'll see you next time around. Day of the Dead is like Spinal Tap. It goes to 11. This has been a Davey Death Ray kind of day. Thank you for your dedication, Davey. We salute you. I salute you right back, Aaron. Really appreciate you showing up. It's always a pleasure. Even when I do these double duty days, they can be pretty fun. So yeah. Have a great night, Brett. Hope you're hope you have a good one here, and looking forward to seeing you the next time. It's been a huge chore, says Dean, but wait till you guys see the final result. So you're doing your room and is it your bedroom or the room where you're shooting your Enter the Cinevault stuff in? You revamping the studio there? It's wild. That is a project right there. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, guys, don't forget to slash that like button and sub to this amazing channel and consider becoming a member of the mighty Death Squad for some awesome perks. Yeah, and check out that shop, guys. Use that promo code right here. Use promo code Death Squad. All one word, all capitals, for 15% off at checkout. Whole bunch of great affordable gear. If you caught my news thing earlier today, man, they are selling I Know What You Did Last Summer sweatshirts. They're not even hoodies. They're just sweatshirts for $68, and trucker hats that aren't embroidered. They're just printed trucker hats for $40. You're not going to find that kind of malarkey on the Davey Death Ray Fourth Wall shop. Everything is quality, affordable. Fourth Wall is reputable. They let me know when orders have been placed, when they're being worked on, when they've shipped, and when they've been received. They are top notch. So definitely worth your dollar. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for posting that, Eli. Yeah, guys, make sure you at least check out the shop to see what's there. Obviously, just showing up and hanging out in the streams is well enough. I love you guys so much for kicking it with me. It is the bedroom, also where the setup is at. Okay. Hell yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Best of luck the rest of the way through that process. I certainly know how that can be. All right, guys, I will be back this weekend. Look, keep an eye out. I'm going to drop a short tomorrow in between screenings of Superman. That's right. I'm seeing it back to back. I've told you that a million times, but I will be doing an out of theater reaction after my first viewing and then recording the full review later. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Big shout out to the Patreon members, to the YouTube channel members. Love you guys so much. All the subscribers love you as well. Our amazing group of Death Squad mods. You guys are absolutely incredible. I have had a blast today kicking it with y'all, and I can't wait to see you next time where I'll be live from Mad Monster Party, Arizona. But until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.